Let's get nasty on a Wednesday. It's the Fast Lane on 101 ESPN with Andrew Marsh and Carey Davis and Jamie Rivers and Anthony Stalter. Appreciate you tuned in. 201, your time check is brought to you by Clarkson Jewelers, an officially licensed Rolex jeweler. How's your Wednesday going, guys? Everything good?
Yeah, not bad. Pretty productive Wednesday so far, I'm not going to lie.
Been good?
Yeah.
Good.
I'm feeling pretty good.
Did you guys get your workouts in? Solid? Yeah, Marsh, nice.
Workout for me.
No?
It's moving slow, man. It's moving slow.
Tough day, Carey. What's going on in your life?
That doesn't sound
Just
That's not the Carey Davis we know.
I don't know. Some days your body needs a rest, and took it today.
It is hump day.
It is.
Well, that's not much of a rest.
Depends.
Okay.
Yeah. Well, Carey, it's good to see you, pal.
Glad to be here.
Glad you pushed through.
Thank you.
Yeah. All right, so Blues don't get it on again until tomorrow.
Well,
Might be hump day for some teams. Not for the Blues.
today.
Not today. Blues take on the Islanders tomorrow. And one of the conversations that, we wanted to dive into today is what are the expectations for Zachary Bolduc? He was called up yesterday. Jamie, you had kind of given the indication of, we'll see. We'll see whether or not this is a cup of coffee. We'll see if he gets an extended run. Not somebody that was expected to be called up. He's only 21 years old. This isn't a situation where even the Blues are trying to catch lightning in a bottle. So why bring him up then if you're Doug Armstrong? Are you just trying to get a look at him with a certain line? Is there a skill set that he has that you're trying to beef up, so to speak? Why bring up Zachary Bolduc right now outside of the fact that Perunovic goes on IR and Justin Falk goes on long-term IR?
Yeah. Well, your 5-on-5 offense has not been great. And although Zachary Bolduc hasn't exactly been tearing up the American Hockey League, his skill set is that of a player that can create offense. And Drew Bannister even said that this morning following the practice for the Blues was, you know what, everybody so far has had a chance 5-on-5, and it really, we're still kind of stuck in the mud. I'm paraphrasing a little bit here, but he wants to give a guy like Zachary Bolduc an opportunity. And like I said, he's got the speed, he's got the skills, he's got the ability. Does he have the ability to do it at the NHL level? And I think that's what the Blues want to find out.
So, I didn't mean to cut you off. Does that mean anything for anyone else? I told you when I had a teammate, we were watching the draft. He texted me, called me. He said, "Hey, man, it's been fun." What are you talking about? Hey, the writing's on the wall, brother. What are you talking about? They just drafted my position. I'll see you soon. He knew that his time and his run with us was no longer to be. Does that mean something for anyone? I know eventually Snuggeroo will be here.
Yeah.
And you got people, but you don't necessarily have enough spaces. So how does that all play out?
Yeah, I think initially it'll affect a few things. It's not quite the same parallel.
Yeah.
Football's a little different than hockey.
Yeah, we're tougher.
Sorry. That's interesting. That's really
Hold on
interesting.
now. Carey literally said he would not take a slap shot and block it.
Take a slap shot. So I apologize, brother. You all are tougher.
No, there's no.
But I don't know if you want to block Ray Lewis or James Harrison.
Well, I had to block Eric Lindros.
Well,
who's
he's a big fella, too. You kind of got a point. All right, maybe.
I think both of you guys are tough.
I was just talking about the draft. I was going with the draft. Carey's all grumpy pants over here.
No, I'm sorry. I apologize.
Carey limped into the show, and then all of a sudden threw a haymaker.
Yeah, out of nowhere. But back to the draft. In the NFL, a lot of times you select a position player. It's because you're forecasting that you're going to need this player because your team, whatever. With hockey, with this situation here with Zachary Bolduc, obviously he's a forward. There are lots of forwards that play. But the direct impact right away is that Kasperi Kapanen got bumped.
Okay.
And that's, so Bolduc got put up a little higher in the lineup than I thought he would originally. I thought he'd play on the third line with Hayes and Saad. But now he's going to play with Shen and Neighbors. And I don't hate the combination. I think that Braden Shen, obviously one of the most responsible players up front for the Blues. Jake Neighbors, a very responsible player, very good down low, good forechecker. I think it's a nice opportunity for Bolduc, but the residual effect of that is that Kasperi Kapanen now gets bumped down to the third line. He'll play with Saad and Hayes, And then Torchenko, Sundqvist, and Walker will be the fourth line. So the guy who really kind of feeling it is Sammy Blais. He's out, and Alexandrov out. They're healthy scratches now, kind of on the outside looking in. So that's the direct impact of that right now.
Gotcha.
You mentioned the 5-on-5 play, Jamie. How do you improve that?
Well, for me, it's all about managing the puck properly.
So, it's not necessarily about line combinations, because that's where I think a lot of fans go to, a lot of media members go to. You need to find the right line combinations, but I think for you, it's actually more basic than that.
For me, it's more X's and O's. Like, you can put anybody with anybody as long as they're thinking the same way, which is why, speaking out of both sides of my mouth a little bit here, but which is why you also want to make sure you have like-minded players together, like I said yesterday. So Buchnevich, Thomas, and Carey, they're going to bring a little bit of a different look every time they hit the ice. It's going to be more of the off-the-rush type of offense. But apart from those guys, you don't really have a rush team. So your team has to become more of a possession team. And the only way you do that is by getting the pucks into the zone and going to get it. So for me, the whole crux of 5-on-5 hockey to create offense is established with good puck placement and a good forecheck to get the puck back. And then once you get the puck back, you go to work. You don't just give it away. You don't just shoot pucks from all over the place. I think that's the big misconception a lot of Blues fans have is, well, we only got 27 shots on net. Sometimes when you shoot the puck, it's a really bad idea. I know that sounds crazy, but if there's no net front presence and you're in a horrible spot, a bad angle, and you throw the puck on net, you might as well have turned the puck over at the blue line, because the goaltender's catching the puck or taking the puck, pushing it to his defenseman, and then they're headed north up the ice. So you've had no time of possession, no zone time. You've given the puck back to the other team by shooting it on net. And I think that's where some people get frustrated. Why don't they shoot more? Trust me, I think they could. For me, once they get inside the dots, you can shoot. Inside the dots, get a shot on net. It's a quality opportunity. Outside the dots, hang on to it. And cycle the puck and keep it down low. So for me, it all starts with puck placement and forecheck.
Do you foresee any more line changes or movement? I know we talked yesterday about Carey probably not being a good pairing with that second line, but Buchnevich feels like a guy that can play anywhere and with any group.
Yeah.
Could you see him and Neighbors possibly switching at some point and allowing Neighbors to be with Robert Thomas to get more of that net front presence where Robert Thomas can get more opportunities?
You might. The one thing you don't want to do is just start screwing with everything.
Right.
Like, you've lost 2 games in a row. You haven't lost 10.
Correct.
And you're still in a wild card spot. And the last thing you want to do is start to create doubt within your lineup.
Right.
And if you start shifting guys all over the place and just basically throwing guys here and moving guys around, you're panicking within the lineup, the team feels that.
Right.
Guys feel that. And then they get out of a rhythm and then they start to doubt things. And then all of a sudden it's like you're gripping the stick a little more and you're not making the plays that you should be making. So if I'm Drew Bannister, I'm not touching too much here. I'm dropping Bolduc in there. Let's see what he does. He might be 1 or 2 periods of really good hockey, or he might just not be able to play, period. Who knows? And then you alter that as the game goes on. But I'm not tweaking too much here. This team won, 5 in a row? It had won 8 out of 10 games. I'm not panicking.
Gotcha.
Jamie, what's the biggest challenge for Zachary Bolduc as he makes this transition from the AHL to being a 21-year-old now in the NHL? We're actually seeing a lot of players make their debut. Boston had a guy that made his debut, and I think he scored a goal. There was somebody else that also made his debut.
Dropped the puck 1 second in, and he fought Matt Martin.
Oh, really? Okay. So I'm thinking of the Bruins player that made his debut and then to wind up scoring a goal. But with Bolduc, the expectations are, hey, just hold your head above water, try not to make too many mistakes. Going from the AHL to the NHL, what's his biggest challenge?
Play recognition. Because the play happens so much faster at the NHL level. A couple things. The play evolves faster on the offensive side, so you have to know where you're going to be before you're going there in order to help your teammates, puck support, all that stuff. You have to be just a half a step faster physically and mentally. And on the defensive side, the other team shuts things down quickly. So what you have, the second and a half you might have at the American Hockey League to find an open player, you've got half a second now. The extra time and space that you get down near the goal line in the American Hockey League, you're not getting that now. the ability to just take off with the puck and zip through the neutral zone uncontested. That's not happening. And I can tell you this. The Islanders are going to know that it's Zach Bolduc's first game, and they're going to be stepping up on this kid all night long. It's fresh fish, man. I'm not joking. You know it is, and you want to make sure that you send a message early to that player that it's not going to be a cakewalk up here, and you look to capitalize off turnovers. A lot of young guys will panic and just throw the puck somewhere or hang on to it too long and get the puck stripped from them. So for me, it's play recognition and being able to speed up his brain just a little bit on both the offensive side and defensive side.
Well, that seems to be the difference between minor leagues and professional or college and the NFL.
The game
it's
is
the
so
process.
much,
yeah,
it happens faster.
When you're a quarterback at the college level, you might have a half second more to go through your reads.
Right.
In the NFL, not only do you have a half second less or fewer, but you also are dealing with defensive backs or linebackers that are going to close on the ball a lot quicker, or defensive end that might get to you quicker in the pocket.
Yeah.
So it's your ability to process a lot of information at the highest rate possible. That seems to be one of the biggest differences making a big transition.
It definitely is. It just happens faster, and when you get older or when you become more of a veteran in the game, it starts to slow down. It's not happening as fast, so it doesn't feel as much as it did when you were a younger player. Being a younger player and trying to figure things out is like your head is spinning. There's so many things going. It's almost like they got more people out here than they should, I think.
Yeah, it feels like that. No. Hey, even as you get older, there's some nights I thought the other team had 7 guys on the ice.
Gotta be too many people.
This allowed?
Like, how can I not find anybody open?
Jamie, there's only 5 over there. Count them.
Those are the nights, Anthony, that I just cleared it.
Yeah. There you go. Jamie Rivers of Synergy Hockey, synergyhockeyskills.com. Of course, we're under that umbrella for the Clear Camp.
Spring sessions now open.
There you go. Exactly. We're going to have to fill some spots. Marsh helped us the other night on the Maryville hockey game. He calls hockey for Maryville. And
I didn't hear the call.
As he noted in one of his calls, one of the most important aspects of hockey is clearing it. After a player accurately cleared it out.
Cleared the puck.
Unbelievable.
I had to let him know.
Yeah.
I had Anthony's back.
Thank you,
Marsh
Marsh.
wants to be on your staff.
Oh, yeah. Well, no, he already is. He's the assistant
He's
GM.
already recruiting.
That's hilarious.
Yeah. Marsh is going to have a lot of titles when it's all said and done here. All right.
I already have a rink that I think we can get it going and
Start repping.
This is why I hired Marsh.
I can clear it, I'm sure. I can.
Gary, you're on the staff. Listen, you're on the staff too,
You're
man.
hired.
Get it out of there.
I always ask you, hey,
High off the boards, right, Jamie?
Yeah, high off the glass. Get
High
it
off the glass.
let me tell you
high
something.
and hard,
sir.
baby.
High and hard.
You want to test a guy's bravery.
There you
Get it
go.
off the glass so that
See if he wants to stand there or not.
If he wants it in the face or not.
See, Carey gets it. He gets the philosophy. And I'll tell you something about Carey Davis. I've always asked Carey every time that he's coached, I'm like, hey, can I be the defensive coordinator? And every time, Carey said yes. Every single time.
I don't know that I said it every
No,
time.
I haven't had the time to dedicate to it, but
I
he
did
has
invite
said
him
every
to
time.
a game, and he's like, if I give you a play, are you going to do it? I was like, yeah, probably. No, I don't think so.
No, you just say, oh, yeah. And then you run a play and you're like, that was the one.
That was it,
man.
man.
You're like, what? I wasn't ready for it. Too bad.
You missed it.
I said to spread him out. You ran the ball.
That's what I did.
That's unfortunate that Carey's not coaching anymore. Otherwise, you would get your opportunity.
Certainly, Marsh. I appreciate
Like,
that.
Gary's going to coach youth football.
I am. You're more than welcome
There
to
you
come.
go,
Now
Anthony.
you can be the D
Listen,
coordinator.
Have
Come
you
on.
seen this guy coach flag football?
I got my own flag schedule coming up. We're starting
Let's
up
go.
again soon.
Let's go.
We were the Steelers. We had a split team,
That's a great
Steelers and
game.
Cowboys.
Good job.
But I did put Killian on the Steelers.
Good job, man.
Like, hey. They were actually here over the weekend, and because we had to stop off and pick up some stuff. And Killian, who likes the Steelers, I don't know why, but he just does. But he saw
Smart
the
young man.
bag,
Oh, yeah.
and he goes, Steelers. I go, I got to introduce you to Carey Davis. He's got a Super Bowl ring with the Steelers. What? Yeah. Yep. All right. Jamie said something in the office earlier that he was absolutely right about, but it's unfair to the player. We'll tell you who that player is.
I can't remember.
I'll remind Jamie next on 101 ESPN.
Hey, it's Carey, and if you're a contractor or you own a business that needs recycling, then you need to hear about my good friends over at Scrap Mart Metals. They are tailor-made for your business to meet your schedule and your budget. They understand that job site cleanup for contractors can be a mess. You should set up an account with Scrap Mart, and they can recycle that metal. It's one less thing that you have to do. You'd be amazed how much Scrap Mart Metals can help you and how much it adds up to help your business's cash flow. If you're a plumber, heating and cooling, excavator, or any type of contractor, Scrap Mart Metals recycling can make your job easier. If you want to haul it to one of their locations, they have 3. They are very convenient: Valley Park, Peevely, or Jonesburg. If it's metal, they will buy it. It's recycling made easy. They offer a convenient drive on scale, and they have the highest payout, and you will always get top dollar for your scrap metals. Just reach out to them today at scrapmartmetals.com. My guy Lucas can talk to you about setting up a business account and get you going, make it much easier for you, get those metals paid for out of your way and in money into your pocket. That's scrapmartmetals.com. Let them know that Carey sent you.
It's a Fast Lane on 101 ESPN. So we're in the office today, and Jamie, who was at his desk, kind of leaned out and he said, boy, a lot of people are kind of making Sonny Gray out to be the savior. Let's hope he can be the savior.
Let's hope he
even has a good season. I think that Sonny Gray is going to have a solid season. I don't think Sonny Gray is going to come in and just be overwhelmed by the situation or take some massive step back from what he has been throughout his career. I think he's going to be solid. But to ask him to be some sort of savior, he's not going to be a savior. He's not. Your entire pitching staff. Your entire pitching staff.
Season's over.
Yep. No, I don't even want to watch.
Yeah,
Thanks, Anthony.
92 losses now.
Yep.
Thanks.
We just got worse.
Can you write that down, Marsh? Today at 2:20, the Cardinals would lose 92 games.
Yep.
Anthony Stalter.
Boy, that's a huge leap.
Is it?
You guys think that Sonny Gray is going to be some sort of savior?
He has to be.
Why?
What the hell? That's what they got him for.
Man.
They got 25 other guys on the roster.
They had those guys.
A lot of those guys were there last year, too.
Well, Lance Lynn wasn't here last year.
No.
So
Neither was
Lance
Kyle
Lynn is the
Gibson.
savior.
No, I'm not saying. I'm not saying anybody's going to be a savior.
It's definitely not
There's gonna be
Lars
no
Nootbaar
saviors.
because Anthony, as of yesterday, said that he does not like Lars Nootbaar.
It's a good
I
point.
heard that too.
I said Lars Nootbaar's a solid player. These guys, and one of the texters said he's basically garbage.
Not what my sheet says.
No, your sheet originally said that Carey and Jamie said that Lars Nootbaar is
what
not
you're
good.
saying-
I didn't write that
What
down.
you're saying is hearsay. Things that are written down are real.
Evidence. It's bookmarked.
It's recorded.
It's recorded. It's noted.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's just information.
Yeah.
So here, yes, that's right. So
Analytics.
here was my thought when I blurted this out in the office as I'm watching clip after clip after clip after still shot of Sonny Gray.
Every move he makes.
Yep. Every breath he takes.
I'll be
I'll be watching you.
Yeah. Yeah.
What a creepy ass song. Yeah.
It's a great song.
Not as
Remember that
creepy
song?
as the song you said
The original
yesterday.
one from Police?
What?
Remember at the school dance, they'd play that song and oh yeah. Try to interlock the fingers behind your
That was your jam? In the grade school?
little speed wobble, you know? Thought I was just the man, too. Anyways, speaking of man, Sonny Gray, everywhere that I look, he's holding court. He's yelling out pitches and doing things and crazy stuff, which is, I love every bit of it. But my head went to a spot. I was like, okay, what if he's not the savior? We'll just use the word savior. What if he's not the guy that changes everything? What if he has a fine season? Like, then what? Because you needed somebody like this last year to kind of guide the troops, and now you identified that you didn't have it, so you went and got other guys now who can kind of do this and fix that rotation. What if it doesn't work? Like, now what?
You better hope like hell these young guys can come up.
Yeah. I mean,
That's
that's
the only-
just where my head was.
that's the only answer.
If he's not
Well-
like, what if he does all this stuff and all his preparation is excellent and everything he's doing, which I'm very impressed with Sonny Gray. Let's not get confused here. I'm very impressed with him. But what if he goes out and it doesn't work?
Because the Cardinals, once again, decided to only meet needs and not extend beyond that, you better hope then, if this doesn't work with your current group of starters, that these young guys can step in. That's the only recourse here. You could try to get to the All-Star break or the trade deadline. You could try to get to the trade deadline and do what you did a couple of years ago and flip some of your roster guys that you don't mind losing for guys like John Lester and Jay Happ. You could do that, but that doesn't solve anything either. You need, you know what? You need your young guys to continue to develop and produce regardless of what happens this season, because Kyle Gibson and Lance Lynn are only on 1-year deals. Miles Michaelis isn't going to pitch forever. You need to revamp your starting rotation. So that would be my answer regardless, Jamie.
So what is the mindset for 2024? If you got those two guys on 1-year deals and Sonny Gray, I think he had a 3-year deal, he has to be the savior. He has to be, because you all told us, not you all, but the Cardinals told us essentially that the reason that they were so bad last year was because of the pitching, both the starting pitching and the relievers. So they went out and got 3 new starters. They went out and restructured the bullpen so that bullpen is better. I'm going to read to you the opening day lineup from last year. Brendan Donovan, Lars Nootbaar, Paul Goldschmidt, Nolan Arenado, Wilson Contreras, Tyler O'Neill, Nolan Gorman, Jordan Walker, and Tommy Edman. There's only one other person that's going to be flip-flopped, and that's Mason Wynn, suspectedly. That's the starting lineup for this year. That's the same group of people. That's the same team. So Sonny Gray has to be what Jamie said. He has to be the person that puts this team on his back every 5th day. And I was listening to Adam Wainwright talk about the impact of a great starting pitcher, how he impacts the day before, his day, and the day after. That's 3 days because, the bullpen, you can work those guys because his day, he's probably not going to need the bullpen as much. And then the day after, the bullpen had a rest, so they can be back revved up. It impacts 3 days from an ace. This is what he is brought here for. That's what they told us. So that's what he has to be. Otherwise, as you said earlier, at 2:20, going to lose 92 games.
I did not say that.
Yeah, I heard
That's
you.
a cop-out, though.
It's not verbatim, but he did say it.
That's a cop-out, though. Why do you have Nolan Arenado? Like, all of a sudden,
It's the same lineup, though.
Carey,
These are the same people.
Yeah, I am so
Other than Mason
sick.
Wynn and Tyler O'Neill, swap those two out. It's the same people.
It is.
Carey, Jamie, I am so sick of allowing guys like Nolan Arenado off the hook. Just because you signed Sonny Gray
Who let
doesn't.
him off the hook?
You guys are letting him
No,
off
we're
the
not.
hook by
We're
saying
saying it's the
Sonny
same
Gray
damn
has got to be
team.
the savior.
No, we're saying it's the same team.
Okay, so Nolan Arenado doesn't have to improve defensively from what he had a year ago?
Well,
Yes.
he does. And
Does Jordan
offensively.
Walker not have to take the next step?
Yes, they
Does
do.
Mason Wynn have to make the transition? I mean, to just say one guy needs to be a savior, I think is absurd.
No, I think you're missing the point. I don't disagree with what you're saying, but I think you're missing our point. Our point is that, yes, your offense and your guys have to continuously take strides forward, especially your young guys. In Nolan Arenado and Goldie, those guys have to play like the back of their baseball card. Yes. This is what we're expecting. This is what we want to happen. What we're saying about Sonny Gray is he has to be the savior because last year you had those guys. Down year for some of them. The back half of that season was better for Nolan Arenado defensively. But your rotation and your pitching staff from top to bottom didn't get the job done. So now you went out and signed. I mean, this is some of the most turnover I've seen at the pitching position in forever for the Cardinals. You revamped everything. So if you went and revamped everything and it doesn't work, that's a huge problem.
You had to revamp everything. It was so
understand
bad.
that. Yeah,
It was
I know.
terrible. And you completely revamped your bullpen.
Everything.
So you've got multiple new guys, not just Sonny Gray.
No, but he's the big ticket item. He's the one you're stuck
For the
with.
Cardinals, he's a big ticket
I
item.
know, but
it's not like
I'm not talking about the Cubs.
But he's not
today.
Yamamoto, Jamie. It's not like it's
Well, no, we couldn't afford him.
right. So,
But he's your ace, Anthony. Is what I'm saying. He's your guy.
he's never been.
If the
He's
playoffs
never
started
been
tomorrow,
a dude, though.
If the playoffs started tomorrow, who's the pitcher you're giving the ball to?
Sonny Gray,
There
hopefully.
you go. So that's all you need to know. He's your guy. I don't care if he's. I don't care if he's
your
ranked
guy.
15th in Major League Baseball or 21st in Major.
Right.
He's your guy, which ultimately, to me, is part of the problem.
But I agree. Okay, so that I agree with. Because we're viewing this as like he's an ace. He's not an ace.
He's our ace.
Well, so
He's not,
but he has to
was
be.
he was third in Major League Baseball in ERA last year, right? He 8-8, started 32 games. If you're third behind Blake Snell and Garrett Cole, I think that's ace-ish, and he is our ace. We don't have anybody else. We can say, well, we didn't get Shohei or we didn't get Blake Snell still out there. We didn't get any of these guys, but we got the guy that is third in ERA. Now, the other guys, they struggled a little bit, giving up a lot of hits and a lot of earned runs.
Yeah.
But he has to be that guy that every fifth day, the bullpen is going to get a rest, and he's going to go out there and give you quality starts. And I think that last year the Cardinals missed out on that. They didn't
held
get
their
enough
breath.
quality starts. Yeah.
They held their breath. Every start, they were holding their breath.
Please, bullpen was in there.
Please get us to 5. Please
Give
get
a
us to
chance.
6.
I'm tired, boss. I don't want to pitch today. Oh, okay. Gotta get ready. that was the life of the bullpen last year. Sonny Gray.
I think we're setting all this up for disaster.
You said it.
I think Sonny
That
Gray
was
can only
ultimately
be
my question to begin with.
Sonny Gray can only be
Literally
Sonny
was.
Gray.
I'm like, are we putting too much on this guy?
Yes, we absolutely are. Because Sonny Gray can only be Sonny Gray. He can't. Spencer Strider or Sonny Gray? Who would you rather have?
Spencer Strider.
Zach Wheeler or Sonny Gray?
Zach Wheeler.
Okay. Not even
But we
seeing.
don't have them.
I know, but to
Shohei
just-
Ohtani, too.
You can't just
And
wish.
Dylan Cease.
You can't
Since we're
just say,
I'll
well,
take
he's,
Ohtani,
since
even though he's
he's
not
our
Verlander.
ace,
Can
he's
I
going to
just
be
name-
these other guys. He's not. He's not those guys.
He's
No, but he's
ours.
our guy.
Somebody can play. Somebody can play the
He's not
Christian.
getting it.
Somebody
He's
can
not
play the Christian McCaffrey role, but that doesn't mean he's Christian McCaffrey.
No, but he might
needs to
be
be
your
our Christian
Christian
He's
McCaffrey.
your Christian McCaffrey.
Does
He
that
can
not
line
sound
up in the
ridiculous?
slot.
He's not Christian
But he
McCaffrey.
can lie. He's your Christian McCaffrey.
He's a guy like Christian
There you
McCaffrey.
He's
go.
your ace because you didn't go get an ace.
That's
he's-
correct.
That's what I'm
got.
saying.
Well, you're screwed. If this guy has to be the ultimate savior and not just be a good pitcher,
He's
which is
got
what
to
he
be
is.
a dude, man. He's got to be the guy that every 5 days you feel relaxed.
We got a text
Boy, this
here,
is a
Jamie,
problem.
from Jamie's Vacation Speedo 228. Jamie hates Lance Lynn.
I never
You
even
might
said
wanna-
anything about
I
Lance
didn't
Lynn.
know. I didn't
Probably
know.
why.
I don't hate
probably why you
Lance
hate him.
Lynn.
Probably why you
I actually kind of like that big burly dude.
Then this pink
I feel
Bronco.
like- yeah,
Ford Bronco.
but
I saw it.
you know what?
I would ride it.
I think
would
he's
ride
fine.
in the car.
Any man who's
The
that
car.
comfortable.
Whoa.
We're talking about the truck, right?
The truck,
Okay.
man.
I didn't know for a second.
Any guy who rolls up in the pink Bronco with confidence, he's not lacking any self-esteem. He's fine.
What's trending is next in the Fast Lane on 101 ESPN.
Cheap, cheap, fun, fun.
Let's get dirty over at Dirt Cheap. They are St. Louis's one-stop shop for all of your party needs. The staff is incredible over there. They always have great suggestions as far as your beers or your wines or your spirits. Maybe you're looking to have a certain party and you need a special kind of beer. They're going to definitely direct you in the right spot. And if it's a certain cocktail that you're not sure how to make it, they'll find all the ingredients. They'll make sure you get it in your cart, and they'll make sure that you're well taken care of. For me, it's always the bourbon section. And don't be fooled. The name Dirt Cheap, that is referring to their prices, because they have some of the big dogs over there. They've got the Angels Envy. They've got the Elijah Craig. They've got Blanton's. They've got all the things that you're looking for. Trust me, I know. I go there all the time, and they take great care of me. They also have the app, the Dirt Cheap app, which is simple to download, and it offers even more savings, and there's other giveaways on there. There's certain clubs that you can be a part of. And the new thing, one of the best features of that app, is you can order your spirits online and have them delivered to your home. And that takes care of everything. That eliminates some of the steps for you, and that's all compliments of my friends over at Dirt Cheap. So please stop by any of the locations. Tell them that Jamie Rivers sent you in. They love hearing that. And remember that they're the number one company in the business. They're my best friends. They should be your best friends. And have fun out there, but be careful.
101 ESPN Sports Center.
I'm Andrew Marsh. It's time for a Sports Center update driven by Johnny Londoff Chevrolet and Johnny Londoff Autoplex. St. Louis City SC downs the Houston Dynamo 2-1 in Game 1 of the CONCACAF Champions Cup. They'll take on Houston once again next Tuesday, February 27th at 9:30. The Blues are back in action, taking on the New York Islanders tomorrow night. Pregame starts at 6. Puck drop is at 7. And you can catch all the action right here on 101 ESPN. We'll talk with our guy, our insider from The Athletic, Jeremy Rutherford, at 4:30. So stay tuned for that. We have What's Trending coming up next right here in the Fast Lane. I'm Andrew Marsh, and this Sports Center update is driven by Johnny Londoff. Find new roads and shop 24/7 at londoff.com and londoffautoplex.com. Are you kidding me?
It's time to find out what's going on in the sports world with What's Trending Now. Brought to you by Goodwill. Donate a car and get tickets to the St. Louis Cardinals.
Welcome back to the Fast Lane here on 101 ESPN with Anthony Stalter, Jamie Rivers, and Carey Davis. I'm Andrew Marsh, and it's time for What's Trending. Gentlemen, City SC, first game of the year, first match of the year.
There you go.
They defeat Houston 2-1 in the CONCACAF Champions Cup. Take a listen. This is what the second goal sounded like.
They won the victory. Pompeo with a cross. Hildesheim Makijima goal.
Well,
It was excellent. I just wish it was longer.
yeah. I mean, yeah.
Well said.
Yep. Good job.
FS2, by the way.
I didn't realize there was an FS2. Anybody else? Anybody else FS2?
No, I knew it was a thing.
Maybe.
You did, huh?
Well,
Okay.
I've seen FS1.
FS1.
Yeah.
I didn't know they had
I
to
didn't
do
just-
basketball games on.
I didn't just assume there was an FS2.
Or do.
Yeah.
I don't know.
There's an ESPN 2.
Yeah. And 3. And
The
And the Ocho.
Yeah.
Yep. Apparently, this guy was calling the game from a closet, I think, inside his home.
Yeah, so MLS trying to grow the league and certainly grow the sport. We here in St. Louis know just how popular City is here. There's no doubt. The brand is incredible. The team had a great year, and the fans supported it big time. But if you're going to try and grow your sport to where you have viewers on a certain channel because you're deeming it to be important, to is televised, one, find maybe a more mainstream channel. Two, maybe have the play-by-play guy live at the field. He was remote location, and they didn't give him an analyst. So this guy did play-by-play and the analyzing for 90 straight minutes without commercials.
What a talent.
you get paid for both?
Seriously.
I don't know what his deal is.
Of course not. If they didn't give him an analyst, it's because they wanted to save money.
You do both
You
of
didn't
these
travel
jobs.
either. I mean,
No. That sounds pretty
it's
different.
terrible.
Yeah. Not.
It's terrible for the.
Not
It's a terrible
ideal.
look for the sport. Terrible look for the broadcast. It's. You want to grow your sport. That's no way to do it.
Yeah.
You want to grow your sport here.
Anthony, did you not like that
Go!
Yeah, it was
call?
fine. It was solid.
It's a lot. It's a lot.
Poor guy had to be on air for 90 straight minutes.
He almost passed out after
I'm sure he
that.
did.
He almost did. But he
Dehydration.
survived by himself.
I hope he was drinking.
Maybe he was. I kind of hope he was too at this
It's like,
point.
screw it.
Yeah, who cares?
I got to be here. Nobody knows I'm here.
He wasn't even on. He wasn't even on camera.
No.
What's that sound?
I guess you just got to get down to the stadium and watch it live.
Him?
No, if you're a fan, that way you don't have to.
Oh.
If you don't
yeah.
want to listen to it,
That's
What if it's
true.
sold out, Andrew?
I don't know. Find your way in.
It's a good point, Marsh.
If I want
It's a good point.
get my soccer on, I want to get my soccer on. Okay, give me a good broadcast.
All right. Jeez. I like the
Any
goal
other
call.
questions, Marsh?
No, I get it. I get
Marshy's
it.
stuck on the goal call. Marshy, here's a
It's, it's a great goal
Hang on,
call.
Anthony, I have a great idea. Marshy, you love that goal call. So from here until Friday,
Okay.
I want you to somehow take that goal call and make a remix of it, and drop in some of your own lyrics too. Give me
I don't like it that much.
Give me a DJ Marshy Marsh remix with the goal in it. That's if you like it, of course.
Yeah.
Apparently you don't.
I like it.
No,
I don't love it, though.
all of a sudden.
Okay.
And clearly you guys don't
He
want
didn't
more
like
of
his
it.
little home
So.
project.
Interesting.
He didn't like his little home project.
No, he didn't. He liked to. He was projecting on us.
Yep.
Hey, you should like this as much as I do.
And now he doesn't like it as much.
And now he doesn't like it as much as he thought he did. Okay,
Disappointing.
good to know.
It's like Anthony and Lars Nootbaar.
Oh nope, not like that at all.
Now he's projecting again.
He is.
That's all right.
I know what I said yesterday. It's on.
No, you don't.
It's on audio. It's been
It was
recorded.
written on my paper.
I've
all
been
that matters.
pro Lars. The only person in this studio right now that could say that.
That's not true.
We love Lars Newbar.
Yeah. Give me the newt.
On a more serious note, this came across the text line. There is a fundraiser for a local St. Louis hockey player, Micah Davey, out of St. Peter's Hockey Club. On Sunday, he sustained a tough hit into the boards, resulting in a severe neck injury. Thanks to the quick thinking medical staff in the Lake St. Louis ER, they immediately placed Patrick in a neck mobilizer, and he was transported to Cardinal Glennon Children's Hospital, where it was confirmed that Patrick had broken his neck. CT scans verified multiple fractures within the lower vertebrae in his neck, and his injury was extremely dangerous, and he was very lucky that an additional 1 millimeter of pressure on his spinal column would have left him paralyzed. He did underwent successful surgery yesterday to stabilize his spine and remove the risk of spinal cord injury. There is a GoFundMe, and the goal was $10,000, and they're already past $15,000. So
Outstanding.
that's great news. The St. Louis community stepping up, the hockey community stepping up. So we appreciate the texter that gave us this information.
You know, the young man going through the injury, the parents impacted by that, obviously. Nobody should have to go through that when you're playing a game that you love. It is unfortunate that it is a part of sports, especially contact sports, something like this, but no family should have to go through something like this. It is great news that he received successful surgery, and I am not surprised at all that people stepped up for this family. I just, the more, the world is crazy, as we know, and we hear a lot of the negative stuff, but when people are in need and ask for help, I'm often blown away by people that step up and say, I will help. I'll contribute.
I want to, obviously give my, thoughts and prayers to the young man and their family, but I also want to give a shout out to the people that were there on hand first to make sure that he was, not moving, and they kept him in the same place and didn't allow him to hurt himself any further, because at times, especially in sports, our natural inclination is, get up, get moving, and to be able to get out there, get to him quickly enough to make sure they were able to stabilize him and not allow him to move. That's one of the biggest fears you have as a parent of a kid that plays a contact sport, or a coach of children that play contact sports, because that at any given moment, and it's never intentional. It's something that you work on, you coach, and then something happens, and it just is a freak accident. So, hats off to those men and women that were there to help stabilize him immediately and quickly to make sure that he didn't do more damage to himself. And thankfully, as you said, surgery went well. The family, I'm sure they're prayerful and thankful of that. He's probably got a long road ahead of him, but I hope everything works out well for him and he's okay.
Yeah, and thoughts and prayers for sure for the young man as he recovers. And had a chance to have some dialogue with his coach, Jeff Bridges, who reached out to me a couple days ago, just kind of letting me know about the event. He reiterates that the surgery was successful, and that he might even be able to go home tomorrow.
Wow, that's good news.
Which would be huge.
Yeah.
So again, Marshy, did you give out the GoFundMe page for this one? Does it have a name attached to it?
It just says number 92, Patrick Davey family. If anyone wants to text in, I can certainly shoot them the link.
Yeah. And obviously, the more help, the better. There's going to be a lot more than the $10,000. Anybody who knows about what good medical care costs, and it just does, it's going to be way more than the $10,000. So, Continue to donate as generously as you have.
Well said. It's Fastlane on 101 ESPN. Jamie Rivers, Carey Davis, Andrew Marsham, Anthony Stalter. There was a media member that floated out an idea or an opinion about why we still see Cody Bellinger and Blake Snell and Jordan Montgomery unsigned. I'm interested in your guys' take on this because I don't know if I necessarily agree with this thought. We'll get into that next on 101 ESPN.
With over 2 decades of family ownership and operation, E&B Granite is St. Louis's trusted name in renovations for kitchens, bathrooms, and outdoor spaces. E&B Granite offers an extensive selection of custom countertops, cabinets, and flooring that cater to diverse tastes. The variety of colors, patterns, and styles are guaranteed to bring new life into your living spaces. Backed by a skilled team of professional fabricators, installers, and in-house design staff, E&B Granite ensures top-notch craftsmanship, personalized service, and prices you won't find with big box stores. For those who are seeking excellence, and I do mean excellence, in home renovation, support local and schedule a free consultation by visiting their website, enbgranite.com, or call them. Tell them Jamie Rivers sent you in there. Their number is 314-645-9300, or you can stop by their showroom down at 6135 Manchester Avenue and have a look at their massive inventory of custom countertops, cabinets, and flooring. E&B Granite, that's luxury for less for Missouri and Illinois.
Travis Swachik.
You're going to take Travis Swift. It's like
Travis
Swifty.
Yet. No. Travis Swachik of MLB. He's an MLB writer for the Score. He tweeted this out, and it's an interesting take, and I wanted your guys' opinion on this because maybe I'm not grasping what Travis is trying to say here. But he said the big issue for MLB free agents is really not about signing windows or anything like that. In 2001, position players 29 and under accounted for 57% of plate appearances and 57% of WAR. In 2023, position players 29 and under accounted for 66% of plate appearances and 72% of WAR. Most production on the field is from pre-ARB players. What's stopping the sport from becoming younger? So, if I'm reading this correctly, Travis is suggesting that the reason why guys like Cody Bellinger and Blake Snell and Jordan Montgomery haven't signed yet is because they're negotiating with teams that either A, have an understanding, or B, want younger players and want to invest in younger players. So thus, they're having to battle through this, and they're not getting signed.
Well, I think that does have something to do with it. We talked about it a little bit yesterday. Probably the length of the contracts. I think, teams are starting to realize, the older these guys get, the worse or the play starts to go downhill. So why would we want to sign a guy that is 31 to an 8-year deal, knowing that when he's 39 or 37, we're not going to get the same type of play out of him. And maybe that's kind of the route that some of these teams are going. They want lower deals, but as a player, you want that financial security for a number of years, and obviously the number that you want to hit. And if the two sides don't match, it's hard to get a deal.
Yeah, I mean, but that's the push and pull of negotiations in all of the sports.
Yep.
Is the player wants the most term, the most money, and the team wants the least amount of money for the most amount of term. So it's crazy. And look, I think baseball needs a little bit of a revamping when it comes to their free agency. And I don't know if anybody
don't have a window. It never ends. It opens. Nobody does anything. Like basketball, football, when free agency opens, guys are signed. They're rolling. And then the MLB, it's like,
yeah,
is it open?
Well, I'm talking more about the structure.
Pre-ARB.
Yeah, like once you have a guy that's cost controlled, you have this guy until he's basically out of his prime, and then now he's supposed to cash in on the big deal. Well, what teams have figured out is, why would I give this player 6, 7, 8 years, 10 years, whatever they want to give at 30 years old? Like, it's just not. No, I'm not doing it. So if I was the baseball union, which are the strongest union in sports, all this going back and forth, why did they not just lobby harder to lower free agency to like that 26, 27 spot? You know what I'm saying?
Yes, I do.
So that now if you have a 26-year-old or 27-year-old, you're looking at an 8-year deal, it's not terrible for you.
Right.
And then the player can cash in, and the team can also get term on that one. Now the team can get the years. Because they're not going to say, well, the last 3 years of that deal, we're going to eat that because, he's 30 now, and when he's 37, his play's going to dip.
Right. I feel for the players because you're right, Jamie. The arbitration process does not allow for them to get their first bite of the apple unless they come up early, like a Bryce Young or a Juan Soto.
I mean, there's always
the exception to the rule. But most of the guys, to your point, Jamie, they might hit free agency if they're lucky at 28. Most times they're not hitting free agency until 29, and then teams are like, "Yeah, I'm not giving you a 6-year deal." I feel bad for the players. I don't blame the teams. No. Why am I going to pay you for past production? I'm going to pay you more money to get less production. How much sense does that make? But when it comes to in this case, I wonder, and I don't know. I'm not privy to the Blake Snell negotiations or the Jordan Montgomery negotiations, but I wonder, guys, if the player has become more and more selective, because Major League Baseball is woefully top heavy. You've got the Dodgers, you've got the Braves, you got the Phillies, you've got the Yankees, you've got the Astros. Orioles just came about, but they're unlikely to spend big time money. You only have a finite group of teams that you could play for that are willing to give you money and willing to give you a chance to win. There are plenty of teams that are desperate. I'm sure there's a lot of teams that have made offers for Jordan Montgomery and Blake Snell. But if these two guys are competitors, and they are, and they want to win, well, now your market gets smaller. You have fewer options. And if you're the Phillies, the Braves, the Dodgers, and you already have a lot of your roster in place, you're not going to float out a contract that's going to be fair market value if you don't have to. I think that's the case. Teams have always wanted to be younger.
Yeah. So, to your point, Anthony, what I've really noticed, especially in baseball, is if you're a really good player, there's really only like 5 or 6 teams.
Correct.
I mean, it's not like the NHL. It's not like the NFL.
Right.
Like, I don't know enough about the NBA to even to venture into that territory. But my point is, like, Blake Snell. Well, there's a number of teams that aren't even calling your agent. Mm-hmm. A number of them, because
they don't want to spend.
They can't afford it.
They're not going to spend, and they have no use for you.
Yep. There's 10 teams right there.
That's gone. So right away, and then let's go to the next level. Well, are they in your budget? Most of them not. So cut those
There's
teams
another
too.
5.
So then you're ending up with like a pool of maybe 7 teams.
Right.
Maybe that'll be able to spend to satisfy the Montgomery deal or the Snell. So, but then there are 2 guys out there. So now it lowers your chances again, because whoever signs first, like whoever panics first, is going to set the market.
Sure.
So it's really kind of set up for failure.
And you're also a human being.
Thank you.
Which means you're also a human being, which means you don't want to pitch or play for certain teams. You don't want to live in certain cities. Mm-hmm. You have your preferences as well. So, Jamie, like you're saying, slash another couple of teams off the list.
It ends up being like 4 or 5 teams,
right,
and that's it.
It's the same
and if those 4 teams,
same freaking teams,
and if those 4 teams are saying, here's our offer, it's going to be a 3-year deal, and you wanted a 5 or 6 year deal, well, you're going to hold out, hoping that these teams get desperate. And when they don't, now you really got to make a decision.
Yeah.
Do I want to pitch on a 1-year deal and try it again next year when I'm a year older? Or do I go to a team that's not really competitive just to get my fair market value? I think that is more in play than what Travis at the Score is talking about, which is teams want to get young. Teams have always wanted to get younger.
Yeah.
They've always wanted young cost control players. That doesn't change. So good luck if you're, these 3 guys are still trying to get deals. I've maintained that they'll get good deals, but they may have to settle for
not the 5 or 6 year deal.
Well, they may have to settle for a team that they don't want to pitch for. Ultimately.
In Montgomery, I think he's fallen into that category now where maybe he's overplayed his hand.
Yeah.
And I think teams are like, which version? Which version are we getting?
Yeah, we're getting last year's version or the guy that was deemed by the Yankees as kind of a 4th starter.
Yeah.
And was willing to give him up for an injured center fielder.
We'll throw 3 years at you. I'm not going 5, 6, or 7. I'm not going like,
you want the money or the term?
Still not sure about this guy.
Right.
And Blake Snell, he doesn't pitch past the 5th inning.
Correct.
Right?
Yeah.
So, again, he's limiting his own.
Right. Yeah, he walked, last year he walked too many players.
I want guys that just want to be here.
Well, you got him. Yeah, you got him.
Well, don't worry about that. They're here.
That's what I want.
You got him. You're good.
Okay.
We don't know if they're going to pitch well. Doesn't matter.
I don't care. I just want them to want to be here.
That's correct. Yep.
That matters.
But they still be ready to lead.
Maybe.
Yeah,
I think
those guys will.
Yeah, certainly. How much different would the Blues be with Ryan O'Reilly over Kevin Hayes? That was a Blues Views hypothetical that was thrown out, and we like hypotheticals here in the Fast Lane, so we'll answer that question next on 101 ESPN. would the Blues be with Ryan O'Reilly over Kevin Hayes? 3:05. Your time check is brought to you by Clarkson Jewelers, and it's an officially licensed Rolex jeweler. Jamie Rivers, Carey Davis, Anthony Stalter. It's the Fast Lane. So this was provided by Blues Views at STL Blues Views online. Something Marsh dug up, and this is kind of an interesting hypothetical. As Blues Views noted, ROR, Ryan O'Reilly, has a $900K higher AAV and would have cost an extra year. But I think STL is substantially better, a better team, especially in the playoffs, with O'Reilly over Hayes. Jamie.
Yeah, what?
How much different would the Blues be with Ryan O'Reilly over Kevin Hayes?
Well, look, all things being equal here, Ryan O'Reilly, his role, what?
That's funny. What?
Oh. I was like, I moved on, and Anthony started laughing. I was like,
what now? What do you want? It just hit me.
I thought all things being equal made you laugh.
No.
All right. Take two. All things being equal, Ryan O'Reilly's...
I knew somebody was going to do it. I knew somebody was going to do it. I knew somebody.
So if you look at Ryan O'Reilly, he's 2 years older than Kevin Hayes, right?
Uh-huh.
He's just an older player, plus that $900,000 difference. That could be a lot of money for a team that's up to the cap, right? So, you know, with all that being said, I think Jamie's probably the perfect person to talk about.
Let's ask Jamie. What do you think, Jamie?
Yeah, what do you
Jamie,
think?
your thoughts?
Well, I just found out from the boss that I'm contractually obligated to talk on here.
Yeah, none of us are.
It wasn't in my best interest to walk away.
Look, the clear camp is all fun and, it's all good and well, but
talk hockey.
Yeah, you need to talk hockey
we talk
on the Blues Radio Network.
All right, so let's change this a little bit. If things were different, Ryan O'Reilly here in St. Louis, his role wouldn't be the same as it is in Nashville. He's number one center in Nashville. He plays every power play, all that stuff. He wasn't going to be number one center here in St. Louis. Robert Thomas is your number one center, and I think that the argument is fair that you're happy with that situation right now. So for me, it's not really O'Reilly versus Kevin Hayes and how you would look, because O'Reilly wasn't going to, as a free agent, wasn't going to come back here and play third line for you. Just wasn't. And I don't know if the Blues were going to go to even though it's $900K, we act like, it's nothing. That's a full player. Mm-hmm. That's another player that the Blues were able to put on their roster because they have less than $4 million committed to one player. In this particular case, Ryan O'Reilly. And then it also, you have to imagine, it's not that Ryan O'Reilly didn't want to come back to St. Louis. He loved his time here, and there were even rumors and rumblings that he would want to come back here. But Barry Trotz and the Nashville Predators threw him a really good deal. I don't
even
even
factor that in.
Yeah, I see what you did there.
O'Reilly factor.
O'Reilly factor. Well done.
Got it.
Did you do it on purpose?
No.
Okay.
No, I did not.
But I don't even know if Army had a chance to pick up the phone and call him before Nashville, and Barry Trotz was like, we need to change our culture. I just got rid of two guys, and I'm bringing in Ryan O'Reilly. So it's not exactly apples to apples. Now, if Ryan O'Reilly was fine being your third-line center and you got him for about the same price as Kevin Hayes, and I still make the argument, though, is he as productive? Because he's not going to get the lion's share of the ice time. He's just not, because it's Robert Thomas's world here now at the center ice position. And would he help your team? Of course he would. I mean, it's Ryan O'Reilly. We watch this guy day in and day out. We just saw him in here last weekend with the Predators. He's a great player. But I just don't know if the Blues are willing to go 4 years. I don't know if they're willing to go $4 million. And we ultimately don't know if Ryan O'Reilly would have chose the Blues over the Predators based upon the money and the term of the deal.
Sure. And the role, like you said.
Yeah. I was going to ask you, do you think this is more a question about Kevin Hayes and what he's done so far in the Blues uniform? I think there were maybe higher expectations for him.
Yeah, I think if you ask Kevin, I think that he would say that he wishes he would that he's been able to contribute more offensively. As it sits right now in 55 games, he's got 22 points. Not enough.
Right.
I mean, not enough. And Kevin knows that. He wants to score goals. He wants to create offense. It just hasn't happened. And this is one of the reasons that, the Blues have struggled 5-on-5 is some of the production from some of the guys like Kapanen, Hayes, Sammy Blais. You work your way down. You got a lot of guys who haven't really put up a lot of offense. Even, Nathan Walker's got 7 points in 19 games, but you know what you're getting from Nathan Walker.
All right.
So I look at it as,
Oh, boy.
not necessarily that you're unhappy with Kevin Hayes. I just think that you'd like some more offense, because from a team standpoint and a culture standpoint, he's really helped this team. Right. He's been a really good leader. He's been a solid guy with the young guys. The veterans really respect him. He's done a good job in the faceoff dot. So, yes, more offense from him would probably make people happy.
I think that there's a lot of season left, and we could see a lot more from Kevin Hayes. You never know, right? Justin Falk, his first year here in St. Louis, it wasn't that great, but then he played great in the bubble, and he's been doing well ever since. I think you just got to give it time, right? Kevin Hayes will come around.
Yeah.
It's going to be great. Sammy Blais, maybe he can get back to where he was in the summer when he was playing in the international games. This Blues team, there's a lot to look forward to.
Excited.
You seem excited.
It doesn't hit as much as the other Cardinal glasses.
Yeah. But it's good.
Probably because I can't see.
No, Marsh, I think you did great, man. I think that you fired up a lot of Blues fans. I really do.
I don't know that. I don't know.
I think they're ready to run through a wall right now with their Kevin Hayes sweaters on.
Maybe not.
Okay.
All right.
Who's one Cardinal that we should keep our eye on for spring training? Carey's got 2 guys that he just continues to pound the table for. He'll tell you those 2 guys next on 101 ESPN. Last night on 101 ESPN, Jamie Rivers, Carey Davis. I'm Anthony Stalter. Who is the one Cardinal that we should keep our eye out on for in spring training? Carey, I feel like there's two guys that you want to highlight.
Well, there were two guys that really sparked my interest, and I mentioned them a couple of days ago. One, you all laughed at me. You laughed, and I was. Yes, you better believe it. That's one. And the other one is the one that's probably going to be the center fielder at some point, and that's Dylan Carlson. And so, Katie Wu did a roundtable, Cardinals roundtable. Which teammates are they most excited to see play? And guess who? My guy, Dylan Carlson, said he is most excited to see play.
Steven Matz.
Steven Matz. So
Carey,
those two are tight.
Yes, sir.
How did those guys become so tight?
Well, so here's the thing. It says from Dylan Carlson. I'd probably say Steven Matz. I spent a lot of time with him last year rehabbing, and I know how hard he works
there it is.
and the work he put in. That's the guy I'm definitely looking forward to see. Now,
Oh, boy.
here in St. Louis, down here in Jupiter, we are preparing for these two men to have a fantastic season. You asked me the other day, which pitcher would I say has the least? You all said Steven Matz, both of you and you.
Yeah, we
Did you write that down, Marcia? They hate Steven Matz. I, for one, love him.
I like Steven Matz.
No,
Hell
you
of a
said you
guy.
hate him. I heard you.
Want to see him pitch?
Yeah,
He's
somewhere
going
else.
to 30 games. Wow. 30 games this season. He's going to be your fifth starter and work his way up. You better believe it. And Dylan Carlson, Tommy Edmonds, a hell of a second baseman. You know what would make it better? When Dylan Carlson is starting in center field and that middle of the infield, that middle, right up the middle, shortstop, second base, center field, whew. Can you imagine how awesome that's going to be when all three of those guys are rolling, rocking and rolling? It's going to be
When all three of those guys
all
can't
three of
produce at
those
the
guys.
plate?
What? What are we talking about?
All
Tommy
three of them
Edmonds?
struggle.
We're going to have Dylan Carlson back from one side of the bat, from one side. We're not going to worry about
Which side?
Whichever side he hits best from, which was the right side, I believe. He struggled versus righties. Those lefties, though.
He hit a home run left-handed against Shohei Ohtani.
Did. Who else can say that?
Which version of Shohei?
It doesn't matter.
What do you mean? The one where he had like a single-season career or
There
whatever,
you go.
strikeouts against the Cardinals this past season.
And who did it, Marsh?
Dylan Carlson.
DC.
Didn't know if his arm was hurting him.
Nope. He was in good shape. So those two guys.
Yeah, the Cardinals still lost that game.
Well, you don't have to say that,
That
Marsh.
makes sense.
No,
It's just
that was a team
information.
thing. Dylan Carlson, center field. Steven Matz, fifth starter, 20-plus games starting. ERA of 3.07.
Yeah. I want to see Ivan Herrera this spring training.
Yeah.
Because I hope that
Call him
Ivan.
Ivy.
Yeah. What? Are they?
Yeah.
Poison Ivy.
Poison
Poison
Ivy.
Ivy.
To the other team, he's poison.
Yeah.
Not inside the Cardinals
No.
clubhouse. Anyways, Ivan Herrera, I think he's going to get 40 to 45 starts behind the dish. This was once the heir apparent to Yachty. He wasn't ready, a year ago to take over. They signed Wilson Contreras to the big deal, but Wilson Contreras can go back and forth between catcher and DH. Ivan Herrera is a young guy that I want to see. Like, obviously, I want to see win, and I want to see Jordan Walker. But those two guys we know are going to have their opportunities to start. Ivan Herrera could carve out a pretty significant role for himself for this season, and it starts with spring training. We've seen guys say Brendan Donovan carved out a huge role for himself a couple of years ago by starting out in spring training and forcing the Cardinals to say, hey, we're not going to go back up to St. Louis without this guy. I hope that Ivan Herrera gives Ali Marmol, his coaching staff, a lot of confidence that he can be the number 2 guy behind Contreras, but also, again, somebody that's capable of starting 40 to 45 games behind the plate.
For me, it's Jordan Walker. The young man, he forced his way onto the team last year. I don't think everyone had him penciled in to break spring training and come to St. Louis. He did. He had a little speed bump, went back down, came back up, stayed, and then continued to progress as the season went on. Spent the entire offseason in Jupiter working on fielding and playing in the outfield. He got bigger, too, if that was even humanly possible. This guy is, he looks like he looks like a defensive end for the NFL. I mean, he's just massive. He's tweaked his swing a little bit here. I'm very excited to see the progress because a young player like that's when you really can see a spike. Is year to year for these young players. You obviously you hit a certain plateau at some point where you're just trying to maintain instead of lose. But for the next, 4 or 5 years, Jordan Walker is going to continue to kind of have these little spikes of improvement. And I'm just anxious to see just how much of a spike there is this year.
Going back to the Dylan Carlson thing, I think that actually is a player that we do need to keep an eye out on. And I know, Carey, you said, oh, yeah, Dylan Carlson when he's starting in center field. I don't know if that's a good thing. If he's starting in center field early on in the season, that means somebody's either injured or they're not playing well.
Yeah, and that
That's
player's
not
Tommy
a good
Edman.
thing.
Or he just lit it up in spring training.
Tommy Edman won't be able to face live pitching for another several weeks. There's a chance that Dylan Carlson is your starting center fielder to start the year because Tommy Edman's on the mend still. Mm-hmm. And if he doesn't get a full spring training, you may need him to go on the IL and then have him do kind of a late spring training. I don't know. I'm just throwing this out there. Apparently, he's taking swings with one hand, trying to get the timing down, trying to build strength up. But that wrist has still left him in a spot where he can't take full swings against live pitching for another couple of weeks. So Carey could get his wish, at least one of them.
Do you think that there's a player right now that is not on our radar that could be one of those Brendan Donovans where, like, this dude has to be on the team?
Victor Scott may force his way.
I hope so.
He may force his way into an opening day spot.
Starting center fielder?
Yeah, I wouldn't put it past him.
Well, then
if Dylan Carlson does not have a big spring, and Victor Scott does, and Tommy Edman is not ready to go on opening day, that's a scenario in which you could see Victor Scott.
If that happens, who's the odd man out? Is it Burley? Because we were talking about him yesterday.
Burley, yeah, Alec Burleson. Provided that Tommy, in this scenario, Tommy Edman would be the guy that's going on the IL.
But when he comes back healthy, you still got to move.
Well, Victor Scott would have X amount of games to show that he should stay at the big league level.
Well, I hope we don't go through that again. We saw that last year. He told us Jordan Walker was going to be here, and then they sent him down.
Yeah, but it was for what, a week and a half?
He was beating the ball into the ground.
It was a month.
It was about a month.
No.
Yeah.
He had like a 12-game hitting streak.
I know.
There was a lot
wasn't
of
a
seeing
word
or
I
something
saved.
like that.
There was a lot of seeing
But
eye
the
singles.
exit velo. You're right.
You
The
guys
exit velo.
criticize a guy for getting on base. You guys act like the Cardinals committed the biggest crime known to man by sending Jordan Walker down to get that. That's why I point in these guys.
Here's the thing. He went down and they asked him, "What did you work on?" He said, "I didn't change anything. This is what got me here." So he went there. And they told him, work on your launch angle. And I did what I normally do.
You know what I'm
hearing? And he came back and had more. He had
more lift.
He had more success because he was further along than he was when he first started.
And he was hitting the ball in the air more. He's a big dude. He shouldn't be hitting the ball into the ground. You guys act like the Cardinals murdered his family.
Wow. I don't think we went that far.
I mean, I was with you till that point.
This is how I make my points. I go so far over the top that they're irrefutable.
Or does the point get blurred at that?
Probably.
I think it does.
But Jamie, it's part of my shtick.
Yeah. Well,
he came back up, got more lift, wound up staying here the entire time.
Steven Matz, Dylan Carlson.
I love how every conversation goes right back to those two guys for Carey. He's found two guys that he's rooting for.
The other guys I expected from, okay? I expect Jordan Walker to have a year. I expect Wilson Contreras to have a year. Nolan and Goldie. Those guys, Mason Wynn, essentially his rookie year, I don't put too much pressure on. But those two guys, because they have the talent. When you got the talent, and the work ethic. They were rehabbing together, Jamie.
Oh, yeah.
They were sticking by each other's side. They're going to be each other's biggest fan.
Yep. Probably right back there, too.
Nah.
Oh, come on. Always trying to get guys injured.
I'm not trying to do anything. I didn't say that. I don't want that for them.
Root for a healthy.
I also like to play the odds.
We're going to play Prove Me Wrong next. Air Comfort Service text line, 314-399-9646. The Air Comfort Service text line. If you want to send in a Prove Me Wrong statement, we'll enter the Honorable Judge Andrew Marsh's courtroom next in the Fast Lane on 101 ESPN.
101 ESPN Sports Center.
I'm Andrew Marsh. It's time for a Sports Center update brought to you by Saliga Heating and Cooling. St. Louis City SC defeated the Houston Dynamo yesterday 2-1 in Game 1 of the CONCACAF Champions Cup. They'll take on Houston once again next Tuesday, February 27th at 9:30. The Blues will be back in action tomorrow night, taking on the New York Islanders. Pregame starts at 6. Puck drop is at 7. You can catch all the action right here on 101 ESPN. We'll talk with Jeremy Rutherford at 4:30, so stay tuned for that as well. Coming up next, though, we have Prove Me Wrong. So if you have a Prove Me Wrong statement you want to send to us, do so using the Air Comfort Service text line 314-399-9646. Prove Me Wrong coming up next. I'm Andrew Marsh, and this Sports Center update is brought to you by Saliga Heating and Cooling, an independent American Standard heating and air conditioning dealer.
Prove me wrong, kids. Prove me wrong.
That's right. Time for Prove Me Wrong in the Fast Lane on 101 ESPN. Air Comfort Service text line is 314-399-9646 if you have a Prove Me Wrong statement. The law firm of Davis, Rivers, and Stalter. We're in your courtroom there, Honorable Judge Marsh. What do you got for us?
From the 618, prove me wrong. Caleb Williams is too much of a locker room issue, and the Chicago Bears are better off keeping Justin Fields.
I mean, have you met Caleb Williams? He's a hell of a football player. Locker room issue. How many locker rooms have you been in with Caleb Williams in them? I think when you watch his play on the field, this is a guy that I would want on my team. Passionate, wants to win, born leader, a guy that really loves the game of football. Those are the guys you want on your team. You don't want guys that are, non-competitive or, lackadaisical, just showing up just because they know they're going to get paid. We want guys that are going to show up, have passion for the game, know what they're doing, and be ready to play. And Caleb Williams, in most people's opinion, is a talent that you won't find for maybe the next 5 or 10 years. You want that man on your roster right now.
Before Justin Fields, the Bears have had a long history of successful quarterbacks, including Mitchell Trubisky. They took over Patrick Mahomes, including Matt Barkley.
Yeah, that's not good.
Jay Cutt.
Yeah.
Kyle Orton, Rex Grossman, Craig Krenzel, Cordell Stewart. Not Slash, but Cordell Stewart. Chris Chandler, Jim Miller, Shane Matthews, Cade McCown, Eric Kramer. Yeah, if the Bears don't want Caleb Williams, that really tells us all we need to know about how good Caleb Williams is.
Jay Cutler is the leading passer in Chicago Bear history.
Yep.
And that should tell you a lot. Jim Harbaugh is third. He's now coaching. He probably would be okay to play for them now.
He might be a better choice.
Better than what, he's third, but he's coaching football, not playing.
Not a long history there of successful quarterbacks. So, you keep Justin Fields. You keep adding number one wide receivers, since that's all a number one football team needs. Just pure number one wide receivers. I'd build a whole team of them, Jamie.
Interesting.
I'd put them at every position.
Why wouldn't you? They're so skilled.
Exactly.
No, you shouldn't do that.
So you said you would keep Justin Fields.
No. He said.
That's what he said.
No. Being sarcastic.
Why did you jump in there?
I was being sarcastic.
He didn't need any help. He was going to get the ding without you.
I was actually going to compliment you on the tag team effort, and then you said that
then he spoke.
Justin Fields.
Did you say keep Justin Fields?
It was part of my sarcasm. I couldn't pick up on it.
He didn't have it. He didn't realize it.
It's like the troubles you used to have with the text line. They couldn't pick up your sarcasm, and they just thought you were a jerk.
Yeah.
Marcia fell into that trap.
Thanks, Dad. If Carey won the case, Stalter just lost it.
It's great for in person. It plays in person. Over the phone or like this,
doesn't
you
work.
can't see facial expressions, so it doesn't play. It comes across
jerkish,
differently.
Get in the snake pit so you can see. Well, Marsh
pick
couldn't
your
see
word.
Arrogant. self-righteous.
Goodness gracious. Well, but those are none of the things that you are, Anthony.
Well, thanks, Jamie.
Yeah.
We're rolling there.
I'm just taking what I hear, right?
I'd like to apologize to my law firm.
You should.
It costs us a lot of money.
You might be
Sorry.
suspended for a little bit here.
I'll sit the next one out, guys.
If you jump in on my trial, you better be helping me win.
I'm sorry. I am sorry that the judge couldn't pick up sarcasm.
It's not my job. It's not a
his
job description.
It's about the facts.
I mean, honestly, he should, really listen, count for everything. But that's just me.
Are you insulting my position?
No, sir, he is
Josh,
not.
I mean, I've been in your courtroom a lot, and I felt like I dealt with a lot of crap
We've
here.
lost the next one, too, now.
Definitely have.
Just put the buzzer. Whatever.
I'll give him a chance. From the 618, prove me wrong. Wilson Contreras will not catch 120 games this year. He has not caught over 120 games since 2018.
What do you mean he's not going to catch 120 games? Have you seen this guy? He's in the best shape of his career. Showed up early, working with the pitchers side by side. Sonny Gray and him are becoming best friends. And, Herrera, we want good things from this young man, but let's slow play it here a little bit. Pump the brakes. Is also the kid that you threw him the keys to the camper and he couldn't handle it right away when he was here the last time. So you want to make sure he is ready to go. And what better way than to have Wilson Contreras, who's a ferocious competitor. We know that. Mm-hmm. And now, this year, without all the others, the outside noise about this stuff, he's finally able to be himself. And you see him at spring training. He's holding these meetings and he's calling guys out and he's doing these things. And so for me, 120, he should be catching 130 this year for the Cardinals.
Easy.
I think if the Cardinals are going to have winners, 12 wins out of 3 pitchers this year, it's going to have to come with Wilson Contreras behind the dish.
Nice job, Jamie.
Well done.
Thank you. Thank you for not jumping in.
You got it. You're welcome.
From the 512, prove me wrong. No matter how successful the Battlehawks are in drawing crowds, the NFL will never return to St. Louis under any circumstances.
Here we go.
Listen.
I don't have all day.
Listen. When you see St. Louis support a team like the Battlehawks, not just the Battlehawks, it's City SC. Mm-hmm. People lined up in droves going to the pitch to watch those outstanding men in their boots kick balls into massive nets, and people are loving it.
They are.
TV support for the Battlehawks off the charts. Mm-hmm. People in St. Louis loving City SC.
I mean, the honorable Judge Andrew Marsh goes there himself. He's in the top bowl.
He's in the
enjoys
top bowl.
it. Watching those guys do their job. He would be thrilled when an NFL team arrives here.
Yeah.
Man,
I know he would.
No doubt.
He's a fan.
I think if nothing else, the NFL has learned after all this debacle is that if they put a team here that's actually this city's team, that the fans are going to come out and support it no matter what.
No question.
And I think right now they're kicking themselves a little bit that they don't have a team here in St. Louis.
Absolutely. I agree.
Yeah, that's what I said.
I think it's a great point.
Teamwork.
Nice job, Gary. While I tanked your case, you lifted
I thought
mine.
for sure you're just going to come in and tank his case.
No, Gary's not like that.
Anthony, I'll give you a layup.
You're funny, though.
From the 314, prove me wrong. The Blues don't have the consistently solid goaltending to make an extended run in the playoffs.
Are you kidding me right now? Are you kidding? Have you not watched Jordan Binnington? Do you have eyes? Do you watch the games, Janet style? Do you actually watch Jordan Binnington stand on his head consistently against top-tier teams? Did you not see him shut down Connor McDavid and Leon Draisaitl? Did you not see that performance? Those goals that he saved in the first period? Without Jordan Binnington, you're awful.
I agree.
You're an awful team.
And those games against the Maple Leafs and Predators, those were the games that I really think they did an outstanding job.
Yes.
Standing up.
Jordan Binnington hoisted a cup.
He did.
How many cups did the Blues have before Binnington?
0.
0.
That would be
in
0.
history.
But no, the Blues don't have it. Come on. The Blues don't have consistent goaltending. Of course they do. Jordan Binnington's a goaltending god.
Yeah.
And as soon as you recognize that,
Why are you pointing at me?
the better we're going to be.
You're the judge.
I don't like what you're doing here.
Well, no, I was speaking through you to the...
Okay. I'll look past it. This guy right here, he's causing me fits today, gentlemen. I'm passionate.
Started out hot today, that's for sure.
All right.
It's only because he didn't get a shower in.
That's true. That's very true. They locked me out.
All fired up.
From the 618, prove me
Damn
wrong.
card didn't work.
It's green. I can't get in.
Major League Baseball needs a salary cap to be a competitive league. Can you prove this texter wrong?
Well, why would you have a salary cap? You got a luxury tax. Luxury tax is the salary cap for most teams. There's only a couple of teams that are stupid enough to go past a luxury tax. And what happened to them? They did nothing. They did nothing except pay all the other teams to lose, basically. So why would you need the salary cap? Continue to roll the way you're going. You want to drive those revenues up. You got to make more teams competitive, add teams to the playoffs. And what they've done, they've expanded the playoffs. It gives more teams a chance to win. It gives more teams that get in, and you never know. We literally saw it out of the Phillies a couple of years ago.
And
we
the
saw it out of the Diamondbacks last year. So why would the sport doesn't need a salary cap? The sport's just fine the way it is. The luxury tax is the salary cap.
Yep.
Nice job, Jamie.
Well done.
Now I know how real lawyers feel.
Nice work to our lawyers listening, by the way.
Oh, yeah, trust me.
Yeah.
They know. They know I appreciate them, Anthony, and support them.
All right, last one here. We'll end on this. From the 314, prove me wrong. By the University of Missouri, showing once again that they're not progressive and they do not want anyone that knows how to think outside the system/box. In 3 years, they will be back to what we've known them to be.
Oh, I'm sorry. Did you not like the hiring of Eli Drinkwitz?
Dennis Gates?
Do you not appreciate that? Do you not appreciate Dennis Gates taking the basketball team to the second round last year? And I appreciate the fact that Eli Drinkwitz, who none of you wanted, by the way, but the board of curators put together a list. Actually, the list was handed to them. They're like, nah, no thanks. This list isn't good enough. The second list, you know whose name was on it? Drink. They hired him. Did you not appreciate the football season you just saw? Was that not out of the box enough for you? Come on.
Fantastic job.
Fantastic job.
Yeah, everyone that you just mentioned was hired by the one person that just left.
She admitted that Drink wasn't her hire.
She did.
Which was the point about the curators.
There you go.
I had to have an amendment there for
There you go.
Judge Marsh.
And the basketball team's not doing that hot right now.
No,
but
they certainly aren't.
They did well last year, though.
They did.
A year off.
Yeah.
It's a bad year.
Bad year. Yeah.
Well, we don't look at last year unless it's the Cardinals.
Yeah, absolutely. Judge, I'd like to apologize for my behavior in today's court.
It's okay.
I get passionate talking about my clients.
It's all right.
Yeah.
You just got to be better next time.
I will.
Please.
I will. Thank you.
I think you will.
Thank you. All right, that's proved me wrong here in the Fast Lane on 101 ESPN. Carey is all about Justin Fields. He doesn't appreciate good quarterbacks.
Wow.
To me, this is a no-brainer. You got to trade Justin Fields. We'll get into that next on 101 ESPN. One of the biggest topics of conversation heading into the NFL draft this year is what the Bears are going to do with the number 1 overall pick. They can keep it and take Caleb Williams or one of the quarterbacks. I doubt that they take another North Carolina quarterback, but maybe Drake May's their guy. Maybe Jaden Daniels is their guy. They could keep that pick, or they could move down. They could take a different player, the non-quarterback, and support Justin Fields. This is like the big topic of conversation. For me, it's a no-brainer. I'm trading Justin Fields.
To who and for what?
I'm probably only going to get a second rounder out of it.
So I think we talk about this all the time, that being in the right system, being in the right organization around the right coaches can make the best of your ability or the worst of your ability. I don't necessarily know that drafting Caleb Williams, it may make your team better, but there are so many more pieces that you can help add value to that team that I think you may be putting Caleb Williams in a position where he does not succeed either way. Whereas if you were to draft a player or move back in the draft and add more to your team, more draft capital, more opportunities to draft better players, Justin Fields is a damn good football player. He's just not had you might think I'm crazy. I'm sure you do. But he has not been able to have the right system or the right pieces around him. And when you're as talented as he is, as big as he is, strong, fast, all of the ability that Justin Fields has, to go and draft another quarterback and move on from him and still not have the pieces around that new quarterback, you're setting yourself up for failure.
So, Carey, just before we get any further down the road here, Justin Fields has, one more year on his his rookie deal?
Yes, I believe so.
Okay. And so what if you don't...
He has 2 more.
Is it 2 more?
Yeah.
Okay, so
it's 2 more.
Yeah, 2 more.
My point
24 or
is,
25.
What if you don't figure it out in the 2 years? What if you give him this steady coaching staff and system and you add pieces and he still doesn't figure it out in 2 years?
Well, then you are back at square one.
You're screwed.
But you are probably
Wouldn't you
going
rather
to
restart your clock with Caleb Williams?
Yeah, but if you're the Chicago Bears, you're probably not going to have Matt Eberflus as your head coach for the next 4 or 5 years.
But that's even more
problematic. So you're going to be starting over either way.
But that's more problematic then.
But then that's what I'm saying. You're setting Caleb Williams up for failure. This is the problem, in my opinion, with the Chicago Bears. For as long as if Jay Cutler, who I think is a really good quarterback, but Jay Cutler is not a future Hall of Fame. He's a really good quarterback. He's the all-time leading passer in their history. They have Walter Payton is number 4 or 5 in receiving yards in their history. Like, this is not a team that has had great success passing the football because they have not built a team to structured a team to help the passer and give him guys to pass the ball to.
Well, Jim McMahon had some pieces.
Well, yeah, Walter Payton.
And he had Willie Gault, and he had some other guys, too, that could flat-out play.
Those, again, the Chicago Bears passing the football in the history of the game has not been stellar.
Yeah, I don't disagree with the historical part of that, and I think it's pretty easy to look on paper and see it. I just don't know. I just don't know if I'm the Bears, if I'm sitting here going, I'm going to go 2 more years of Justin Fields to hopefully we figure it out. Or, you know what? 2 more years from now, if I have Caleb Williams, I still have 3 more years after that to continue to add pieces to this guy.
But what did you add around him in his first couple of years? And you're going to be, you're going to have a new coordinator. So for him, in a span of 2 or 3 years, he will have had 3 different coordinators because college, pro, and then another pro. That is difficult, and you're setting that young man up for failure. Yeah. And if I'm not mistaken, he already said he does not want to be a Chicago Bear.
We don't know that for sure. That was a rumor, and he actually kiboshed that rumor with his representative. They said that's not true.
Okay, well.
What first-round quarterback that didn't have the system in place for him went on to have success?
Probably none. There aren't.
Exactly. Like, we didn't say this about Patrick Mahomes. We didn't say this about Joe Burrow. We didn't say this about Justin Herbert. We didn't say this about Lamar Jackson. Actually, we did. We started saying it about Lamar Jackson.
Lamar was a running back.
But he's still. But those people are fools. Like, you could tell that Lamar could throw the football. He was in a system that didn't allow him to showcase that passing ability. I do not think that's the case with Justin Fields. We're in a day and age where if you're not completing over 70% of your passes in today's systems, you're not trying. I mean, Jamie could probably probably complete 70% of his passes in today's NFL. He's at 60%. When teams have forced him to play quarterback, he has struggled. Cleveland was a perfect example of that. They forced him to stay in the pocket. Dude, you ain't getting out. And he completed 19 passes on like 40 pass attempts. He was awful against the Browns. People who support Fields like to cherry pick his stats as if the bad games don't count and only the good ones count. But my point about the system is that we've said this before about certain quarterbacks. Sam Darnold, he's with the Jets. Well, then he went to Carolina. He wasn't very good. Then he gets to San Francisco, and he's a backup. I think Justin Fields is a starter on other teams.
So what makes him a starter on another team but not on this team?
That's a great question.
If you're trading him, let's say that because Pittsburgh has come up.
Sure.
He would be the starting quarterback more than likely for the Pittsburgh Steelers right now.
Because Pittsburgh's quarterbacks stink, and Pittsburgh doesn't have the number 1 overall pick. It changes the entire conversation. The Bears have the number 1 overall pick
in the draft, then you no longer have the number 1 pick either. And if you're telling me that this young man
but you're creating a variable that doesn't exist. They have the number 1 overall pick.
They do, but they can move back. They did it last year.
Then you're Do you know for a fact that Caleb Williams is not a better quarterback than Justin Fields?
Do you know for a fact that he is?
I don't.
That's what I'm saying.
But I know what Justin Fields is. He's a running back trying to play quarterback.
That he's a better quarterback than Justin Fields right now.
I know that I've got more time, though, to figure it out.
Not if you're Matt Eberflus, you don't.
Well,
but I don't really care about
Eberflus. Right, I don't either. I care about finding the right quarterback. Justin Fields, the fact that we're even having this conversation 3 years in, I think tells the entire story about where Justin Fields is. We're not having this conversation about Joe Burrow or even Justin Herbert, who hasn't won a playoff game yet.
Well, Herbert's under his 3rd head coach, too, isn't he?
He's under his, I think, second. His second
head coach.
Actually, you know what? No, because was Anthony Lynn?
Yeah,
there
his
when
3rd
he was
head
there?
coach in 4 years.
There you go. Going back to what you asked a really good question, Carey, about why would Justin Fields be a starter elsewhere but not with the Bears? Because the variable changes. If you're the Pittsburgh Steelers, you look at it and say, is Justin Fields better than Mason Rudolph and Kenny Pickett? Yeah. Would Justin Fields be better than Desmond Ridder and Taylor Heineke?
Yes.
Absolutely. But that's not the question with the Bears. The question with the Bears is, you've got the number 1 overall pick. Do you want to bypass taking a franchise-altering quarterback, potentially, because you still want to, surround Justin Fields with more talent? We had this conversation last year, too. DJ Moore. They got DJ. Finally, Justin Fields has a number 1 wide receiver. A year later, it's like they should draft Marvin Harrison to give him a number 1 wide receiver. How many number 1 wide receivers do you need? Patrick Mahomes just won 2 Super Bowls with nothing at the wide receiver position outside of Travis Kelce. Like, I'm to the point where I think this is a no-brainer for the Bears. Flip them for a 2nd-round pick and go and move on.
And if you're in the same position you were in 3 years earlier, then
you pick the wrong quarterback again.
That's the history of the Chicago Bears.
It certainly is.
But picking the wrong quarterback now doesn't make Justin Fields the right quarterback either.
If he goes and has success elsewhere, it does.
If.
And same thing we're saying with if.
Yeah.
Caleb Williams comes in and
For me, it's just an age thing. For me, I'm starting the clock again with a very similar talent. In fact, this talent is supposed to be better than what I currently have, supposed to be. I know I can't tell the future, but I'm getting 5 years of this guy now instead of just 2 years and trying to figure it out on the fly with Justin Fields.
I think it's going to be interesting.
My only reasoning.
2024 will be fun to watch to see if the Bears decided to move on from Justin Fields and if he goes elsewhere and has success. I think there are a number of teams that could use a player like Justin Fields and would be more than thrilled to have them on their roster. But at this point, I wouldn't give the Bears a 2nd-round pick for him. Because why? You want to move on from him? Okay, we'll give you a 3rd round. We'll give you something much less than what you're asking for because you already have let us know you're not going to keep both of them on the roster.
Unless you're a team that really needs Justin Fields, so.
But who?
Well, then we just talked about a couple that really need him.
They don't really need him, but it would be an upgrade from what they have.
They don't have their answer right now at quarterback.
Yeah.
Well, it is going to be fascinating to see what happens here moving forward with this decision for the Bears. All right, we've got the Gauntlet next on 101 ESPN.
Jamie Rivers here, joined by my great friend Tracy Bibb from the Bibb Agency. Tracy, it looks like spring is right around the corner here. Is there anything our listeners should be aware of when it comes to their insurance policies?
Good question, yes, because sometimes you start getting ready to bring your boat out, to bring your motorcycle out. All of those kind of things need to be insured, but it's just a great time right now to do some spring cleaning and check your policies anyway, and that's what we can do here at the Bibb Agency. Plus, I am still doing the Fairy Tale Challenge. I'm supposed to run the half marathon and the 10K this weekend, so if you'd like to get a quote right now, we will donate to that cause, or if you just want to go onto the Facebook page and donate, you're more than welcome to do that too, but we are doing quotes for the cause right now.
Yeah, Tracy, you're always involved in so many great charitable functions, and this one is no different, so please make sure you give Tracy a call or visit the Facebook page. And when you give her a call for that free non-committal quote, you call her at 314-328-4260. Again, that number is 314-328-4260. Get your insurance needs all taken care of. At the same time, you're going to help other people, and you'll get to know my friend Tracy Bibb. Tracy, thank you so much.
Thanks.
4 warriors, 4 categories, 1 challenger. Can you master the Gauntlet?
The Gauntlet is powered by Master, your hometown source for business communications for more than 30 years. Visit mastor.com.
Your time check is brought to you by Clarkson Jewelers, an officially licensed Rolex jeweler, with Jamie Rivers and Carey Davis and Andrew Marsh. I'm Anthony Stalter, and we welcome in Chad. What's up, Chad?
Hey, what's going on, fellas?
Not much. Welcome to the show. Have you ever participated in the Gauntlet before?
I've never participated in the Gauntlet. Did the fight several years ago.
All right. Well, again, welcome in. For your first time here in the Gauntlet, would you like to take on Andrew Marsh, Carey Davis, Jamie Rivers, or me?
Let's do Marsh.
All right, Marsh is up. Here we go.
All right, perfect.
So before Marsh makes his way into the cone of silence, go ahead and tell Marsh to spin that wheel. We'll find out what category you get.
Hey, spin that wheel.
All right, here we go. Chad, what are you hoping for?
Baseball.
Baseball. What are you not hoping for?
Hockey.
Hockey. All right, the wheel is usually a cruel, you-know-what.
Well, it was almost very cruel.
Yeah.
But it's not.
It's not, okay.
You want to tell them, Jamie?
Football today, Chad.
What was it almost? Random?
Almost hockey.
Oh, it was almost hockey.
Like one click away from
Okay,
hockey.
well, there you go. So you didn't get what you wanted, but you also got what you wanted.
Here we go. Football be good.
There you go. All right, so Chad and Marsh are going to get the same football questions today. Each question is worth 2 points unless Chad or Marsh ask for the options on a certain question, and therefore that question is worth 1 point. Are you ready, Chad?
I'm ready.
Brock Purdy played college football at which university?
I believe it was Iowa State. Let's go Iowa State final.
All right. Question 2 here, Chad. David Montgomery and one other active running back currently playing in the AFC played college football at that university with Brock Purdy. Name that running back.
I'll need the options on that.
All right. Was it Breece Hall, Travis Etienne, or Gus Edwards?
Let's go with Etienne.
Final answer?
Final.
All right, question number 3. Travis Kelce led this year's Super Bowl in receiving yards. Who led last year's Super Bowl in receiving yards? You there, Chad?
Yeah, let's go Tyreek Hill final.
All right, question number 4. Which team was the last team Patrick Mahomes lost to in the postseason? So who was the last opponent that Patrick Mahomes lost to in the postseason?
Let's get the options on that one.
The Jacksonville Jaguars, the Buffalo Bills, or the Cincinnati Bengals?
Let's go Bengals. Final answer.
All right.
All right. Let's see what
Marsha has
Marsh is
here.
all by himself in there today. He looks lonely.
Chad, how you feeling?
Poor kid.
So. Should be able to sneak by.
All right. Marsh is on his way back here, ready to rock and roll. He's got his headphones on. Marsh, how was the Cone of Silence?
It was great.
Good.
No Mike Ryder in there, though.
So you had an opportunity to just sit there, collect your thoughts.
Listen to
in
a little
silence.
music, yeah.
What'd you listen to?
I listened to the Fortnite theme song to get me pumped up. Chapter 5 main theme. Look it up.
Wow.
Okay.
I was not expecting
Definitely didn't.
It's a good pump-up theme.
that. Okay.
Gets me going.
Marsh, your category today is football.
Okay.
Jamie.
Oh, you better pack a lunch there, pal.
All right, question.
Hang on. Marsh, what's wrong? What are you looking
I'm looking for a pen just to keep score.
I'm watching my child here, and he's fumbling around, and he's looking. He's not focused.
He's not.
I'm super focused. I listened to the Fortnite theme song. Are you serious?
Focused at
I'm trying to get a dub here.
You were looking for other things. You're like, I guarantee you. Can you repeat the question? What's about to happen?
Let's go.
All right, question number 1. Brock Purdy played college football at which university?
Iowa State. Final answer. I'm not dialed in.
That had some stank to it.
Now you are, because you got your pen. All right, question 2. David Montgomery and one other active running back currently playing in the AFC played college football at said university with Brock Purdy. Name that running back.
Can you repeat the question, please?
David Montgomery and one other active running back currently playing in the AFC played college football at that university with Brock Purdy. Name that running back.
Options.
Was it Breece Hall, Travis Etienne, or Gus Edwards?
Let's go Breece Hall. Final answer.
Question number 3. Travis Kelce led this year's Super Bowl in receiving yards. Who led last year's Super Bowl in receiving yards?
Ooh, good question. I'm going to go with Devontae Smith. Final answer.
Final question, Marsh. Which team was the last team Patrick Mahomes lost to in the postseason?
The last team that he lost to, I believe it would be the Bengals. AFC Championship game. They went 2 years in a row to the Super Bowl. So, yeah, I'll go with the Cincinnati Bengals. Final answer.
All right, let's go over these. Brock Purdy played college football at which university? Chad, you said Iowa State. Marsh, you said Iowa State. Correct answer is
6 great years at Iowa State.
Felt like 16. Iowa State's correct answer. Neither of you needed the options, so we have a 2-2 tie. Which team was the last team Patrick Mahomes lost to in the postseason? Chad, you said Bengals. Marsh, you said Bengals. Correct answer is
The Cincinnati Bengals.
But Marsh did not need the option, so Marsh has a 4-3 lead over Chad. David Montgomery and one other active running back currently playing the AFC played college football at that university. We now know Iowa State was that university with Brock Purdy. Name that running back. Chad, you said Travis Etienne. Marsh, with the options, you went Breece Hall. Correct answer is
Breece Hall.
And of course, is Breece Hall. So Marsh has a 2-point lead over Chad. Final question. Travis Kelce led this year's Super Bowl in receiving yards. Who led last year's Super Bowl in receiving yards? Neither of you took the options on this. Marsh, you said Devonta Smith. Chad, you said Tyreek Hill. If it's Tyreek Hill, you've got a walk-off. If it's Devonta Smith or any other player that played in last year's Super Bowl, Marsh is going to win. Correct answer is
Devonta Smith.
Chad.
You have chosen poorly.
You lose.
Well, thanks for letting me play, guys.
Yeah, no,
Good
Chad,
job,
it was fun.
Chad.
Thank you. Thanks for listening. Thanks for playing.
I blame these guys. They riled me up.
Yeah, Jamie really ticked Marsh
You
off.
got the best out of you, man.
He did, yeah.
I respond to
Sorry about that,
criticism the best that way.
Yeah, yep.
He whipped me good.
Well, Chad, again, thanks for playing. Thanks for listening.
All right. Have a good day, guys.
You too.
See you, Chad.
You too. All right, it was Devonta Smith.
Didn't he had a deep ball, I think. He
did.
Yeah, that's why I figured it was him.
Yeah. All right.
It's a Fortnite theme music, baby.
Yeah, it was. It was. It'd be a combination of Fortnite and Jamie.
Well, he found his pen.
He found his pen.
Had to drink water.
I mean, real honestly, it was kind of everything. It was the whole team
All
today.
of it put together.
Yeah, really focused Marsh up. So nice job there, Marsh. Are the Cardinals actually better defensively? Because they pretty much have the same group of players as a year ago. That's next on 101 ESPN.
Gentlemen, the NBA starts up tomorrow night.
Yes.
All-Star break will be over, and there'll be plenty of things to get involved with, especially with FanDuel, America's #1 sportsbook. And right now, new customers get $150 in bonus bets with any winning $5 bet. So, Carey, that means you get $150 if your $5 bet wins.
Yeah, Jamie, you can bet on all your favorite NBA players and teams with quick bets, live same-game parlays, exclusive props, and so much more. You can go over in rebounds, under in points allowed by a team. So many different things you can choose. Choose the Warriors. They're 8-2 since the beginning, since the All-Star break hit.
They're the 10th seed
Heading
right now.
into the All-Star break.
But you know what? They're going to be fine. Absolutely. Just visit FanDuel.com/fast to shoot your shot. Again, FanDuel.com/fast to shoot your shot with FanDuel, the official sportsbook partner of the NBA. Must be 21 or older and present in Illinois. First online real money wager only. $10 first deposit required. Bonus issued is non-withdrawable bonus bets that expire 7 days after receipts. See terms at sportsbook.fanduel.com. Gambling problem, call 1-800-GAMBLER. last night on 101 ESPN. Andrew Marsh, Carey Davis, Jamie Rivers. Will the Cardinals actually be better defensively with the same group of defensive players? Marsh, you had asked that in the office. You said, I don't see how this team suddenly gets better defensively when you got largely the same group of players coming back.
Well, yeah, you guys were saying this team, defensively, they should be a lot better. I'm like, well, this is the same guys. Like, what's changing? Now, I'm not disagreeing with you, but it's the same group of people.
It's a good question, but let's break this down. Jamie, one for starters here, you had said early on in the show, and you're right. If you look at the kind of the back half of the season, the defense actually did improve metric-wise. Yeah. There's a couple of things that we're assuming here. We're assuming, and I'm not saying this is correct or not, but I'm assuming that Nolan Arenado goes back to playing at a Gold Glove level.
There's no doubt.
Or at least somewhat close to a Gold Glove level. I'm assuming that Paul Goldschmidt's defense at first base does not dip at all. I'm assuming that whether it's Brendan Donovan or it is Nolan Gorman at second, they can hold their own. We know that Mason Wynn, even as a rookie, is going to have way more range and a stronger arm than what you had at shortstop over the last couple of years. And now we're really going to see that range come into play because you didn't have the shift last year and you won't have the shift moving forward. So to have an athletic shortstop in Mason Wynn covering all that ground is going to be a benefit for your defense. We're also assuming that Jordan Walker is better defensively, and maybe that's a bit of a leap. More so than Nolan Arenado returning to a Gold Glove level. But Jordan Walker should be better defensively. I'm good with Newt in the other corner spot, and I'm good with either Tommy Edman or, for a little while, Dylan Carlson playing center field.
So here's the way I look at it. Arenado, he's gone into spring training with a chip on his shoulder. No matter what he said about the leadership part, let's isolate that. Let's focus on the other things he said, that he wasn't happy with the way he played last year. He felt almost embarrassed at times, and it's unacceptable. Say what you want about Nolan Arenado, but he is a psychopath in the sense of, like, he'll want to be the best version of himself. There's no doubt that defensively he's going to be right where he needs to be. Mm-hmm. Goldie's going to be Goldie at first base. At second base, whether it's Donovan or Gorman, I think you're going to be fine there. Obviously, I think Donovan has more range than Gorman does, but Gorman made a couple of plays last year where it kind of was like, oh, the big boy can play a little bit here.
Sure.
And then you get to the outfield, Newt, Edman, no concern there. And Jordan Walker has to be better. Like, he cannot be as bad as he was last year. He just physically can't be. With all the work that he's done and with the fact that he's such a gifted athlete, never mind baseball player, just athlete, he's going to be better than he was last year. Quite honestly, I'm predicting a significant difference in a positive way. Mm-hmm. One thing that you're probably not going to have is Alec Burleson out there. Burley, people in text line yesterday, well, Burleson doesn't even have an error. That's because he can't get to the ball to miss it.
Yeah, if you're judging, Jamie, I mean, you're right. You are.
I'm not being a jerk.
You're not. If you can't get to it, you're less prone to make errors. That's why if you just view errors as a defensive metric, it's not going to be good enough. Mason Wynn's probably going to have more errors than most because he's going to be able to get to more balls.
He's going to be able to at least get a glove on it, which is, that's the age-old thing that's kind of funny is you get a shortstop or third baseman, they don't have any errors. Then you watch their effort level on some of the ground balls that are in the gap, and they're, I'll get it tomorrow. Yeah. And let it go. It's not an error.
Roger Dorn down there at third base. Yeah. Exactly.
And then you got guys.
Dorn.
And then you got guys like Arenado and Mason Wynn that think they can get to every single one that's through the infield. And so they get a piece of it or they knock it down or the throw is bad because they're off balance or whatever. But so Alec Burleson doesn't have an error. Nothing against Burley, but he doesn't get around the outfield all that swiftly out there. So I think if you subtract Alec Burleson from your outfield, one, defensively you've gotten better because he played a lot of games out there.
Yeah.
And Paul DeJong at shortstop, Paul DeJong was a solid shortstop. Do I think you have an upgrade now with the range and certainly the arm of Mason Wynn? Yeah, I do. I think you have an upgrade. Now, does Mason Wynn have the pop that Paul DeJong had at times? No, he doesn't. But we're talking about offense at that point, not the defensive side.
Right.
I think this ball club defensively will be better. And we haven't even brought up Wilson Contreras yet. I think Wilson Contreras is going to have a better season as well behind the plate. I think he has to. I think he knows it. I think he went back in the offseason and worked on things and talked to people. And would it have been nice to have Yachty at spring training? Probably. Yeah. Probably would have been very beneficial, but he's not there. So it is what it is. But overall, Carey, I don't know how you feel, but I think the defense is going to be better.
Yeah, I think, again, Nolan Arenado being better to start the season is going to help that team. Mason Wynn, those two on the left side of the infield will definitely, I'm sure, get to more balls and knock down some balls that are not singles now, so you don't have runners on base. I think you're going to have a better defense on the infield. And, Goldie has been solid his entire career, done a great job over there. Brendan Donovan did a really good job at times last year. So I'm excited about the infield. And as you said, Wilson Contreras, it wasn't, in terms of the pitch location, I think that's what more people were focused on last year, the pitches and the amount of hits. I don't know that I saw very many plays with Wilson where it's like he wasn't getting in front of balls or blocking balls or knocking balls down. It wasn't a ton of pass balls on him that I can recall. So I think he's going to be solid there as well. And then Jordan Walker, he did not look good, did not look comfortable to start the season off last year, but you saw the progression as the season went on. He started making some plays with his arm. He was doing a really good job. There were still some times where you're like, oh, that wasn't good enough, but that comes with being a young player, being a rookie, and learning the position. Tommy Edman, we complain about, his arm strength, but him getting to balls in the gaps is outstanding. So if you have a center fielder that can cover as much ground as he does, those corner outfielders, it kind of takes away some of those angles and some of those plays that they may have to make. So I'm excited overall about the team. They're a year older, which is good for some of the guys on the roster and maybe not so good for some of the other guys on that roster. But all in all, they should be much better than they were last year.
There is one potential pitfall here, and that's the pitching.
Well,
you got to field your position.
No, you do.
You got to field.
Right.
No. You just field it. They say let him hit it. Haven't you heard that? Let him hit it, guys.
How'd that work last year?
You got guys behind you.
Absolute piss missile sometimes.
It didn't say hit it hard.
How did you not get that 212-mile-an-hour ground ball?
I barely saw it, I'll be honest. Yeah. Was the sun in your eyes? No, it's night.
No.
Smoking.
The ball was blurry.
Yeah, the ball was just an absolute missile. I'm glad he missed me, quite frankly. Yeah, it's the pitching staff. If the pitching staff is going to give up rockets like they did last year, it doesn't matter how good your defense is. You also need that swing and miss. You certainly need more of it. You do get that with Lance Lynn. Yes, him keeping the ball in the park, that's going to be an issue, but this is still somebody that can miss bats. Kyle Gibson actually had a decent strikeout rate last year. Sonny Gray, same deal. You also hope that it's not a pure pitch to contact team. Pitching staff.
Pitch to contact.
No, it can't be that. No, they identified that last year as they can't have that.
Did they hire more swing and miss guys?
They did.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, well, we'll swing and miss then.
Ish.
All right, you got to find the location.
That is part of it.
The catcher is on the ground. I think he's telling you to throw the ball low.
Yeah, he'd rather have you bounce that thing in there than
possible.
Hang it.
Rather than hanging it over the middle of the plate. If he's out here, don't leave it in here. That's baseball 101.
Guys, did we say that the defense doesn't matter?
Not once.
No, okay. Who said that?
Well, 314 just said it always matters what your defense does. You guys are driving me up the wall.
Jamie, what I've learned, I will be honest, we can have a life lesson real quick. This text line has taught me so much about life. When you're arguing with people and you're like, I didn't say that. Yeah, you did. Clearly, people hear things differently depending on how attentive they are in a situation. Mm-hmm. Sometimes you're driving or looking over or, you mishear things and then you quote it back and you didn't hear exactly what I said. Yeah. Because I didn't say that. But that's what you heard. And sometimes people just don't understand. Anthony, you just did.
Yeah, you just did. Anthony just did.
You said fielding doesn't matter. Oh, you said out of context. How dare you?
First of all.
You were talking about because the pitching matters more.
Yeah, Anthony.
Because the ball is in the umpire throws the ball out.
I still don't remember saying defense doesn't matter.
I think you may have said defense doesn't matter as much as the pitching. But maybe as my...
No, not even close.
We'll have to go back and... we can go back.
Hang on. He clarified. He says, Anthony just said defense doesn't matter if the pitchers are giving up rockets all over the place.
That's what I said, yeah.
This is what I heard.
Good defense is important.
That's what I heard.
It's called listen.
You said it.
You don't argue with people when they don't understand or interpret things well. So to this texter, sir, ma'am, we do apologize for saying defense doesn't matter. Continue. That's what you said. Those were the words that came out of your mouth. Now, whether or not that person heard it correctly is not your fault. You have nothing to do with that. But what you have to be accountable for the words that come out of your mouth, Anthony Thomas Stalter.
ATM.
ATS.
That's it.
Anthony Thomas Marsh.
ATM. And I said it right after him. ATM. Yeah, right behind me.
ATS. I did say that.
How dare you?
We went 9 minutes talking about how defense is important.
Shame on you.
Let me clarify. If somebody hits a piss missile off the wall,
you got to get in front of the ball, Anthony.
Okay. Track that.
And track it. See it right off the bat. Get in front of it.
See ball catch.
You're not going to get in front of it. What are we doing?
I did say that words matter, and I will be better, texter. Again, if I could go back to the 9 minutes of talking about how important the defense is. If I could point you to that. If I can't, that's fine. I'll just take the L on this, and I apologize to you, your family, your friends, and everybody that you hold dear in your life.
Yeah.
If the ball moves, you move your glove. Got it?
Get your body in front of it.
Absolutely, Smalls. Yeah, absolutely. Now, if it's hitting the other yard, not much you can move your glove. You can move your glove all you want.
You got to put those PF flyers on and go get that damn ball.
I think my point was that the pitching also matters. But you know what? I said it, and again, I apologize to that texter and everything that he or she holds dear in this world.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, man.
Shame.
Jared, it is a shame. I've got to be better. I'm going to write this down. Be better.
Yeah. All around.
You stupid man.
Use your words correctly is basically what that is.
Yeah, absolutely.
You are responsible for what comes out of your mouth.
Jeremy Rutherford is going to join us next. Talk a little Blues hockey here on 101 ESPN. No one should have to spend their entire tax return on tires, and at R&R Tire Express, you won't have to. So if you're in a crunch right now, you don't have a ton of money saved up, it may be hard times for you, but you've been driving on tires that aren't safe. Well, give my friends at R&R Tire Express an opportunity to earn your business. Tax time is deal time, and the R&R Tire Express team is matching payments all month long. What does that mean? Well, I'll tell you. You pay 1 week, they're going to pay 1 week, all on new tire and wheel installs now through the end of March. Again, that means when you pay 1 week, R&R Tire Express will pay 1 week, and all on new tire and wheel installs now through the end of March. When you pay 2 weeks, they're going to pay 2 weeks. You get the idea. R&R Tire Express offers flexible payment options plus peace of mind coverage that includes free tire installation, free rotations, free flat tire repair, and much more. So you're in a situation where you've used R&R Tire Express, you're paying, and you get a flat tire. Well, all of that is covered with R&R Tire Express. They're outstanding. Everyone's approved. No credits needed. If you want new wheels, but you're new to tires, who says that you can't choose what you want and you can't pay for what you want? R&R Tire Express, they help you out. Get your name right now in their books. Call them 1-833-ROLL-NOW. Again, 1-833-ROLL-NOW, or visit rnrtires.com to request a quick quote while they're matching payments, all in stock tires and wheels at R&R Tire Express.
101 ESPN Sports Center.
I'm Andrew Marsh. It's time for a Sports Center update. Driven by Johnny Londoff Chevrolet and Johnny Londoff Autoplex. St. Louis City SC defeated the Houston Dynamo last night 2-1 in Game 1 of the CONCACAF Champions Cup. They'll take on Houston once again next Tuesday, February 27th at 9:30. The Blues will take on the New York Islanders tomorrow night. Pregame starts at 6. Puck drop is at 7, and you can catch that game right here on 101 ESPN. We're going to dive into the Blues with our insider from The Athletic, Jeremy Rutherford. That's coming your way next right here in the Fast Lane. I'm Andrew Marsh, and this Sports Center update is driven by Johnny Londoff. Find new roads and shop 24/7 at londoff.com and londoffautoplex.com. Are you kidding me?
Notes and nuggets. It's time for the Rutherford Report with our Blues insider, Jeremy Rutherford. Brought to you by Scott Lee Heating Company, a proud Mitsubishi Electric Elite contractor.
It's Fastlane on 101 ESPN. Jamie Rivers, Carey Davis, Anthony Stalter. Let's head to our 101 ESPN Celebrity Line. We're joined by our guy, Jeremy Rutherford, our Blues insider with The Athletic. What's up, JR?
You guys are having too much fun today. I'm jealous.
Yeah, well, you know what, JR, you can join us at any point, man. At any point you can join us, including right now. You've got a piece coming out over the next couple of days where you're going to focus on some of the trade rumors, including, the name Pavel Buchnevich continues to come up. I'm a little mystified by this. Why give up Pavel Buchnevich now? And do you think there's a possibility that they could deal him?
Yeah, and I'm going to try to I'm working on the piece now. Should be up at The Athletic tomorrow, what I'm hearing about Pavel Buchnevich and a potential trade. I'll say up front that I don't think this is very likely, and part of the reason I'm addressing it is just because there's been so much talk about it. Fans have talked about it. It's been in the media. That I just want to point out the reasons why it is a possibility, albeit maybe a slim possibility, and why it could happen. You think about Pavel Buchnevich, the 3 years that he's been here in St. Louis. He's nearly a point-per-game player. It's right behind Robert Thomas in terms of points per game. And why would you trade a player like that who's just 28 years old? But you start talking about the retool, and you start talking about a guy who's got 1 year left on his contract. But when he signs his next deal, he's going to be 30 years old. Is he going to be looking for a contract that's 8 years times $8 million per year? That could be the case. So I think these are all big-picture questions that certainly are worth addressing when you talk about this situation.
JR, when you look at this team right now, and I know we've talked about it probably last week or the week before, but, what would make sense for the Blues? Does it make sense to just hold? Does it make sense to explore some trades? And I know the Scott Perunovich discussion is a hot topic here as well because he has to reach a certain number of games in order to remain a restricted free agent. Otherwise, he's an unrestricted free agent. Does Army look at that now as a possibility of moving on from the young player? What do you think?
Yeah, the way I see it, and honestly the way I've seen it for weeks now, is Doug Armstrong should know what team he's got, and I think he does. People talk about these last few games, and I get it, last few games before the deadline. But by and large, you know what this team is. So to me, like I've been saying for weeks, is stick with what you got. If we're just talking about unrestricted guys, so we're just talking about the Sammy Blaze, the Kapanens, the Vranas, and the Scandellas, stick with these guys. You're not going to get but a candy bar for them on the trade market. And I think that you go and tell your team, okay, listen, I think you guys can make the playoffs. If there's a small upgrade to make, if it's possible and you don't have to give up a lot, I can look into doing that if I'm Doug Armstrong. But I'm going to let you guys prove to me that you can make the playoffs, so I'm going to keep your UFAs here, and we'll see where it goes. Now, the guys with term, the Torrey Krugs, the Pavel Buchneviches, the Jordan Benningtons, those guys, those are a different story. It's hard to predict what could happen with them before the trade deadline. I've continued to say I think those are off-season type moves if you do make them. But I think Doug Armstrong's just going to have to stay status quo here and let this team see if it can make the playoffs and not make any substantial moves.
What kind of candy bar?
It matters.
It matters.
Yeah.
I was trying to think of something that was kind of meaningless, and I accidentally came up with something that's very important to me.
You're like, wait a second.
I like that. JR, when you're looking at the potential of Buchnevich and why he could be traded, does the call-up of Zachary Bolduc and potentially Snuggerud coming up, does that impact that as well?
I think so a little bit, but here's the thing: is Doug says that he wants to remain competitive throughout this retool. That St. Louis couldn't stomach a 5, 6, 7, 8 year rebuild, and you know, I guess you have to agree with him. You know, the attendance was pretty slim back in 06, 07, 08. You know, and ownership and the chairman, Tom Stillman, seem to be on board with this. And so if you're going to remain competitive, you're going to have guys like Pavel Buchnevich on the roster, even if you have a Snuggerud, a Dvorsky, a Bolduc, because these guys are so unproven. So, I mean, you can be excited about them, and you can put them in the lineup next year, a couple of them, and maybe 2 years you got all three of those guys regulars in the lineup, but are the Blues going to be competitive? It would kind of go against what Doug Armstrong has been saying what he wants to do.
Jeremy Rutherford is joining us right now on the Fast Line on 101 ESPN. He's our Blues insider with The Athletic. You can follow him on Twitter at JP Rutherford. Okay, so Justin Falk was placed on long-term IR yesterday, JR, as you know, which begs the question, how are the Blues going to manipulate the cap a la the Lightning and the Vegas Golden Knights, and who are we going to get at the deadline using all that money?
Yeah, they're going to pull a couple guys. Pavel Datsyuk out of retirement, give him a nice contract. So the Prunevich thing, they put him on IR, but he was retroactive, so he can come off at any time. The Justin Falk situation is a little bit unclear to me in terms of why they put him on long-term. I realize that it's to maximize that LTIR money if they did want to bring in some salary. We saw Justin Falk on the ice today. When you see a guy come back like that, you think it could be close. Afterwards, Drew Bannister said, guys, I don't think he's any closer at this point. We're not counting on him anytime soon. So it could be a situation where you're trying to open up some cap space with the deadline looming here. But by and large, you know, the bottom line is that Justin Falk skating, obviously getting a little bit closer if we can see him with our eyes here. But I think in terms of the LTIR, you know, a lot of that stuff happens with Doug Armstrong and his capologist, Ryan Miller, assistant GM Ryan Miller, and they do those things, you know, to make sense in terms of the financials for the team. So in terms of who's going to be on the ice tomorrow, it's not going to be Justin Falk.
Jared, going back to Scott Perunovich, a lot of our listeners don't really understand the situation he's in with restricted free agency or unrestricted free agent. Are you able to maybe clarify that a little bit as to the number of games he would have to play and why?
Yeah, I think I just looked this up a couple days ago, and I hope that the numbers are accurate for you, Riv. And you did touch on that question a couple minutes ago. Sorry I didn't address it, but so with Scott Perunovich, he's played 50 NHL games, I believe. That's what it was when I looked it up. And I think he's got to get to 74, 75 to become a unrestricted free agent. So he's got 24, 25 that he has to play. And the Blues have, 29 remaining. So he has to play almost all but the 25 of the 29 remaining to become an unrestricted free agent. Just because it's set up that way with the contracts. You know, if you don't play a certain number of games throughout the first few years of your career, you know, then they allow you to become an unrestricted guy.
So is it unrestricted if he plays those games, or if he gets those games in, he remains restricted?
They should be, the way I understand it, should become unrestricted if he gets to that point.
Okay. I was under the impression it was the other way around, but
I need to double check that, but it could be.
Yeah, I'm not sure. I have no idea. So we'll see. That's going to be interesting for the Blues, though, based on these games. Do you think the Blues would entertain moving Scott Perunovich?
You know, I think there's a possibility, but I mean, it's that situation where you're selling so low. He's been injured, and when he's been in there, he's looked fine. So I think that with Scott Perunovich, if you can keep him playing and you can keep him healthy, you know, perhaps there could be some trade value there. But also you look at losing Marco Scandella potentially this offseason. You also look at the situation with Torrey Krug. Are they going to investigate trying to move him? So, you know, who are you going to have on that left side? Certainly you could go into unrestricted free agency and try to bring somebody in or do a trade too. But Perunovich is a guy who I think can fit when he's healthy. We just got to see a long stretch of that.
JR, great stuff as always, man. Looking forward to that article you have coming up about the trade deadline. Appreciate your time.
Yep, thanks, guys.
Thanks, JR. That's Jeremy Rutherford with the Athletic. He's our Blues insider again at JP Rutherford if you want to give him a follow on Twitter. We've got the Sports Six Pack coming up. So 314-399-9646 is the Air Comfort Service text line. To get a question for us, send it in, and we'll answer it next on 101 ESPN.
Anthony, I love helping out our listeners, and it's guys and girls for that matter. Right now, our friends over at Mentality, they're doing a fantastic job of getting everybody ready for the summer. You want to look good, you want to feel good, all that stuff. And we know through our program that, we were lacking testosterone and some other vitamins. Well, we're not alone. There's women out there, too, that their hormone therapy is not done the right way, and they're lacking testosterone, too. Seeing more and more women and men over at Mentality, and they should be, because Mentality is in the business of making people feel better, feeling like they were 10, 15, 20 years ago, and just want to make sure everybody knows that.
Jamie, one of the things that I love about Mentality is that it's not a gimmick. It's not a fad. It's not something that you do for a little bit and you feel good for a little bit and then the effects wear off. It's a program, and when you follow the program the way that they have designed it, and they'll know what you're low on, testosterone, certain vitamins. And once you get up to speed and you're on the program for a while, you feel good. But then they continuously monitor it. They make sure that you're healthy at those doses. They ask you, hey, how are you feeling? Because if you're not feeling great at a certain dosage, they can either up you or take you back down. They constantly monitor it. This is not a fad. It's not some gimmick that you see online and some newfangled thing. No, this is actual health and actual help for your health. Jamie and I are on the program now. We've been on it for almost a year, I think, at this point. And we enjoy the interactions that we have at Mentality. We enjoy seeing new listeners and say, hey, thanks. I'm on the program now, too, and I'm loving it because I'm seeing the results.
Yeah.
That's what it's about.
All our listeners can, too, and they can just stop by either location, South County or Chesterfield. Please make sure you tell them. Say that Anthony and Jamie sent us in here. They're going to take care of you. They always do. And if you can't get there in person, get there online. Visit Mentality at lowtusa.com. That's lowtusa.com.
It's time for the Fast Lane to answer your sports questions.
I want to ask you a bunch of questions, and I want to have them answered immediately.
Asking me all these weird questions.
Answer the question.
Answer the question.
Answer me!
The Sports Six-Pack is now.
With Carey Davis and Jamie Rivers, I'm Anthony Stalter's Andrew Marsh with your questions from the Air Comfort Service text line.
Question number 1.
All right, from the 618, how do you guys feel about a fan wearing team gear to a sporting event that doesn't represent either team playing, i.e. Post Malone wearing the Cowboys jacket to the Super Bowl? Personal pet peeve of mine.
It doesn't bother me.
I don't like it either. It's not like I'm really annoyed by it, but
a fan, was it Marlon guy or what fan is it that
Marlin guy?
Marlin guy.
Marlin's guy. Yeah, but why are you going to like you go
he
to
likes the Marlins?
Go to
Maybe
the
he
Cardinals
lives in
Pirates game. You're gonna wear
San Diego
Orioles shirt.
Sure, you represent your team. That's true fandom. You represent your team no matter where. Doesn't matter. They're always on my mind.
I think it's dumb.
I don't have a problem with it. Whatever, man. Everybody's different. I don't care what you wear. Just wear something.
It's basically what you're saying.
Just have fun and cheer really loud.
You're basically saying, "Look at me." That's what you're saying.
Maybe.
You're saying, "Look at me."
Maybe.
I know the team's not playing that I'm wearing, but
what about just getting
care.
in the moment? You're just like you're at a sporting event and you're a big football fan, and let's say you wear your Battlehawks jersey because you love the Battlehawks. It's a great conversation piece, and you just want to be like, I'm in the moment, man. I'm sporting right now. Like, what the hell's your problem?
Let me ask you something. What's your problem?
You and your take. That's
Why can't you just
take?
If you're not a fan of either team,
what if a kid just wants to go and wear a
t-shirt?
jersey, and you're like, nah, look at me, look at that kid.
No, he's not. I wouldn't blame the. I certainly wouldn't blame the kids. I'd blame the parents.
Bad parenting.
Yeah, bad parenting.
Bad parenting now.
Hey, you got to sit the young man or young woman down and say, listen,
you can't wear your favorite jersey to this game because that team
doesn't make any
playing.
sense.
Because we don't want everybody looking at you.
I agree with you, Anthony.
Thank you.
I think it's stupid.
I appreciate
Who
you,
hurts
Mark.
you, Anthony, from the 618?
Nobody hurt me.
That's what the 618
Oh, come on. Come on.
No, you know what? I have standards. Okay,
That's
I have
a standard.
standards.
I have one exception to the rule. If the jersey that you are wearing has the name on the back of a player that is currently playing in that game,
that's fine.
I'll allow it.
It's fine.
Wow. All these fine
Like
rules.
if I go to the Enterprise Center and it's the Blues taking on they're playing the Islanders, right? And I see a guy wearing a Blackhawks jersey,
you kidding
which
me?
happens all the time. That guy's a loser.
That guy's saying, "Hey, look at me. Look, I'm wearing my team."
Blackhawks fan. Our team's won Stanley Cups 10 years ago.
Right, 3 of them.
And now they're terrible.
The fact that you guys even care about that is a bigger issue for me. Enjoy the friggin' game. Quit looking at other people. Watch the game.
You should be watching the game.
Yeah.
Why is that idiot got a
look at
Bears
that
jersey on it?
Who goes to a
Rams
game and
49ers
just
game?
stares at the field or the ice the entire time without looking around?
Come on, you guys have wandering eyes.
I'm just gonna look.
Why
does it bother you?
Why are you looking at that?
It's an inning change. I can't miss it. The warm up. I'm just gonna watch it.
You got to make sure Sonny Gray is being the.
What psychopath does that?
No, I'm not asking you to do that, Anthony, but why would your attention go to somebody in another jersey and then get angry? To me, I already picture this, Carey. Anthony's at the Cardinals game. It's an inning and a half in. He's been having fun so far. He's watching it, whatnot. He's had a couple of beers already. And then all of a sudden, Anthony catches out of the corner of his eye, because the Cardinals are playing the Cubs. Mm-hmm. He sees a Marlins jersey. And now his day is ruined. I just don't even understand.
How's that guy here for?
Never mind focusing on the game the whole time. Now he can't do anything but focus on the Marlins
feels
jersey.
Like a
I can see
Seinfeld
it.
skit.
Totally. It
Jamie.
would ruin the rest of his day. His kids would be crying because dad didn't pay attention. His wife is upset because dad's upset. Nobody understands why there's so much stress.
Hey, Dad, do you see that double play?
No! Looking at this Marlins jersey from this idiot. What are you doing here? Go home.
He knows it's true. Look at him.
As if you guys don't have pet peeves. I'm just honest about mine. And here's my pet peeve. Our texter text in, hey, it's a pet peeve of mine. Hey, I'm with you. And these two guys are, why does it bother you? Why does it bother you?
It is a pet peeve. I do apologize. You go ahead.
You're fine.
These guys, they didn't get bothered by anything, Marsh. Nothing. Nothing bothers them. No pet peeves for them. Meanwhile, Jamie, for a half an hour, is talking about merging a certain way on one of the shows recently.
Was I?
Yes.
What did I do?
You even had a name for it. You called it like the...
Oh, the zipper.
The zip, thank you.
The zipper?
Well, yeah,
He's
because
telling people
when
how
you
to
do it
drive.
with your zipper, here, Carey, look,
No,
I'll show you.
okay. Yeah, show me. Take your word for it. I don't know. You just I'm listening.
When you do up your zipper, every piece of the zipper is like one on top, like it goes in a row.
Correct.
Like it's not all the pieces slam.
Right.
So when you're merging onto the highway, or you're merging to where there's a lane of traffic, it should be like one car, one car,
Yes,
one car,
I
one
agree.
car. That way nobody gets backed up. The zipper. We call that. Anthony wouldn't know because you just drive like a madman.
Get out of the way.
We have proof.
Here's your zipper.
Get out of the way.
We got receipts, as the kids say.
All right. Let's carry this over. I know we only got to one question. It's okay.
We can get to 2.
No.
No?
We can't. You're going to cool off from this.
Gotta cool off a little
Okay.
bit.
I'm gonna take some
I gotta
time.
make sure I don't have the wrong T-shirt on.
I'm gonna walk away. All right. And when I come back, we're gonna answer the rest of these 5 questions. Okay.
All right.
I'm gonna take a little break here.
Go shower.
Sports 5-pack next on 101 ESPN.
Hey, it's Carey, and it is February, and this temperature is a hit or miss. Sometimes it's really cold, sometimes it's really hot. Your energy bills could be at an all-time high, and it could be time to replace those windows. New windows will help. New energy-efficient windows from Window Nation will help those high energy bills. And with Window Nation, you can get 50% off of all window styles and pay nothing with no interest for 2 full years. Now is the perfect time to protect your home and your family from the elements, lower your energy costs, and upgrade and the look and feel of your home. Window Nation has 50% off of all style windows, as I just said, and they can install those windows in a day or less, giving you a lifetime warranty on the entire window. Again, 0 down, 0 interest, and no payments for 24 months. That's a long time. That's good. That's a good deal. 866-90-NATION or go online at windownation.com. All they do is windows. They are experts. They installed over 200,000 windows just last year with a 96% satisfaction rate, making them one of the top window companies in the country. Reach out to them today, 866-90-NATION or online at windownation.com.
It's time for the Fast Lane to answer your sports questions.
I want to ask you a bunch of questions, and I want to have them answered immediately.
Asking me all these weird questions.
Answer the question.
Answer the question.
Answer me!
The Sports Six-Pack is now.
501, your time check is brought to you by Clarkson Jewelers, an officially licensed Rolex jeweler with Jamie Rivers and Carey Davis. I'm Anthony Stalter. Let's continue the Sports Six-Pack.
Question number 2.
All right, so clearly Anthony and me, we're not big fans of people that wear different jerseys to a game that has that team not actually playing in the game.
Don't get them going again. No.
I might from the 636. What about wearing different brands together, like Adidas socks and Nike shoes?
That's fine.
No, it is not. Oh,
How is that not fun?
It's not okay.
It's athletic gear?
Nope. They're different brands. You don't wear Adidas shoes, Nike socks, and Reebok sweatshirt.
So then you got to be a billboard?
Yeah.
Yeah, no. Are you a billboard for all 3 companies now?
No, but if I wear an Under Armour t-shirt, means I got to wear Under Armour pants, Under Armour socks, Under Armour shoes.
You should.
No.
You should.
I live my life. My life doesn't consist of wearing a uniform every day.
Absolutely. I'm with Jamie on this.
You look a lot more crisp when you're wearing Nike shoes. You got no one might not see the Nike socks unless you got shorts on, but if you got a nice Nike polo on or a nice Nike quarter zip.
I do draw the line. I do draw the line there.
I completely disagree.
No.
Why does it bother you so much, Carey?
It doesn't seem like it's right. Just
doesn't seem like it's right.
Doesn't feel right.
Why do you focus on that? Shouldn't you just be worried about living your life?
Yeah. Not worried about other people?
What? Very valid point. I wouldn't wear it. You can do whatever you want to do. Hell, I don't care.
Well, you do.
I do kind of care.
I feel like there's some judgment coming out right now.
A little bit.
Yeah, I think you should not wear those Reebok shoes with Nike socks. I just don't.
I had my Under Armour pants on and a t-shirt the other day with Adidas shoes. Now, I know Carey was judging me.
Carey was...
I didn't even see it.
Oh, you didn't?
Really hating you.
It's just my personal opinion.
Well, if you didn't see it, it obviously doesn't bother you that much.
It bothers me for me. Yeah. It's just my thing.
So you wouldn't be caught dead wearing, Adidas, Under Armour, Nike at the same time.
Not intentionally.
But you don't care if others
purpose.
do it.
You can do whatever the hell you want to do.
Not what I said.
Me and mine.
All right, question 3.
That's great.
Question number 3.
Well, since we're talking about things that annoy people, from the 314 guys last night at the City SC game, there was a guy behind me screaming at the coach to make certain moves. We were in the upper bowl, as you could imagine. What's the most annoying thing you hear fans yell at games?
Clear it!
That's Anthony.
There's no way that's more annoying than shoot.
It's basically the same thing.
Not really. Shoot! As soon as I get the offense, as soon as I get past the blue line, shoot! No play recognition, no nothing. Power play, just shoot!
Yeah, that's pretty annoying.
Well, I think as a high school coach, some of the things that I would hear, I tended to respond, though.
Run the ball!
Yeah. No! 3rd and 15. Don't want to. I would respond. I had a parent ask, why is it 35 in the game? Because he don't know what he's doing. The hell are you talking to?
Are you at practice?
He doesn't know. I know he doesn't know. Why don't you know he doesn't know? Sir,
have you asked him?
Have you asked him?
You're just going to
ask me.
Criticize
I'll
me.
tell you. Oh, don't criticize me. Your child needs to be better. We hold kids accountable, too. Yeah.
Yeah.
I like that.
The shoot is definitely the one for me. It's just like, or just sometimes
Jamie,
when I hear people,
Jamie,
like, just a play that happens and they try to like explain it or something, and they're like yelling, like, why didn't they do the double drop pass thing? What are you even talking about?
It's
right
not a
now?
thing.
It's not a thing at all.
You just invented it.
You're just mad.
there anything in baseball that people yell out?
Throw strikes. Throw strikes.
I'm trying.
Throw strikes. He's out there trying to walk the house.
Hit the ball. Damn it, hit the ball.
Right. Yeah.
Okay.
Swing the bat.
Yep, that's a good one.
Mm-hmm. That is kind of annoying, though, when they do stand there.
What are you looking at? What are you waiting on?
That hammer that I thought was...
That's a bat, Anthony.
Nope. I was waiting for a fastball. Dude threw an absolute hammer. That's what I was staring at.
That's why it'd be confusing.
Yeah.
You never hear people say, hit the cutoff, man, or like just something.
Right, no, just swing the bat, throw the
cutoff.
Catch the ball.
Make
Catch
the
the ball.
safe play.
Swing the bat. Oh, good idea.
You never hear.
I was waiting for 98 on the corner. Dude threw me a slider.
I buckled.
Sorry.
Could you imagine if everyone out in the outfield, all the fans, if there's like 2 outs, they all put their fingers up. 2, we got 2.
Yeah.
We got 2.
Remind you.
Yep,
Let you know.
just to remind you. The fans knew it. Oh, man.
This is great.
Question number 4.
All right, from the 636. Do you think there will ever be a time when GMs will get together and not offer massive contracts?
Yes. We've seen it in the NFL. It's called collusion. And it's illegal.
What?
I mean, hey, I'm just saying.
They call it strategy.
It's kind of called collusion. It's illegal. It's not something you're able to do.
We do, though.
It's awfully tough to prove, too.
It is, unless you got text messages and people calling the wrong person to tell him that he got hired.
Oh, boy.
You got the job, Brian. You talking to me? You know, this is
Brian Flores.
Yeah. Oh, I thought it was the other Brian.
Oh, God.
Sorry. Who did he think he was texting?
Brian Dayball. Yeah, you got the Giants job. Wait, this is Brian Flores.
I didn't even apply.
I did? Coach, you know this
amazing.
is... Coach Belichick, you know this is Brian Flores, right?
Oh, sorry about that. Not you, Brian.
No.
The other guy.
Not the same person.
The other bald Brian.
Not the same color. It's just way off.
Not even close.
Not even close.
I don't have hair.
That's the only thing.
Man.
By the way, going back to the most annoying things to say at a sporting event, the 417 says the most annoying is the get it in the hole guy at golf tournaments.
Oh, yeah.
That's a good one.
It matters.
Yeah,
because I'm not trying.
Right. Yeah, I try to hit one in the sand. Thank
Get
you.
a par 5 here. Yeah, get in the hole.
Right. Oh, man. That's good.
Question number 5.
This one comes from Obfusco. With Adam Silver's announcement that the G League Ignite team may soon be unviable due to NIL, can you see a future where the NCAA will overtake minor league sports as the main pipeline to the pros?
Does it make them more money? Because if they can find a way to monetize it, then of course.
It'll never take over because you're still going to have guys that won't the eligibility thing. Like, so you got a guy who went to 4 years of college, let's say, and then he takes his shot at playing pro, signs a contract, not quite ready yet, so they send him down AAA. That's why you have minor league. What, are you going to send him back to college?
Right.
No, you can't come here. Sorry. Like, that's the problem the NFL has right now. They don't have a minor league system.
No.
They really don't.
Right. And if you get an agent, you're done. You can't go back.
That's right. So, no, I don't see it doing that at all.
Yeah.
I think maybe some of the lower tiered leagues start to disappear because they don't have the finances to have some of that going on. But as far as like your true developing, like closer to the big leagues, those will never disappear.
Question number 6.
All right, guys, this is a real tweet, and there is a story behind it from John Denton. How serious is St. Louis Cards rising star Nolan Gorman about his craft?
Oh, boy.
He gave up his favorite brand of popcorn to lose 10 pounds and reduce the inflammation in his back. The hope is he'll be available for more games and possibly reach his huge home run potential. Now, is there something that you guys gave up to help your athletic career when you were playing?
When I was playing or now?
we can
when I
go
was
to
playing. So here's the truth. I will say this. I don't think you guys are surprised to hear that I enjoy adult beverages.
What?
Yeah. it's a newsflash. Every year, and my brother and I, too, my brother played pro hockey, played a little bit in the NHL, and 4 years older than me. So we would always have a massive shaker, July 1st weekend, which is our July 4th in Canada. And I mean, when I'm saying massive shaker, like we had the 3 places at the lake. It was my place, my parents, and my brother's place, all in a row, lakefront. And people would come and stay and put tents up and it was 100 people minimum that would come for this weekend. And we would like get it on. Following that weekend, my brother and I always would stop drinking from then until training camp was over.
It's responsible.
Well, we knew, like, we got to get back to business here. And so we'd stop drinking, like anything, and start training hardcore for all those weeks that were left before training camp, and then getting through all of training camp and preseason. And then once the regular season starts, now, start to enjoy a beer after a game or whatnot. So that's the one thing that I would do, amongst other dietary things, but that was the big one.
For me, I wouldn't allow anyone, like, I am a snacker. Like, I like to eat chocolate and cakes and pies, and so you can't bring that into my house. Cookies, no. You wouldn't even, you should have willpower. Yeah, the willpower is keeping it out of the home.
Right.
Do not bring it in here.
The discipline is knowing
that I don't
how my
have
brain
discipline.
works.
So I wouldn't have that in my home at all. I knew I was going to eat all of it if it was there, so I made sure. I would give myself on either Friday night in college or Saturday night in the NFL, I would get ice cream, but a huge bowl of ice cream at our team dinner. That would get me my fix. I had to have it, but that would be my fix. But I did not. I tried to go. I went one time without any carbs. One of my team, you should go without carbs. Man. I went 2 weeks.
2 weeks you made it?
2 weeks. And I almost passed out in my apartment.
Yeah. There's no energy.
Grabbed a loaf of bread and just start hammering it down. I called him. I said, I think I almost died. He's like, yeah, maybe.
I tried that too one year. Toward the back end of my career, you always try to like have good body fat percentage and all that stuff. And you're older. I mean, I wasn't out of shape. I was still in shape, but I knew I had to compete against all these younger guys that are coming in with like 6% body fat. I was hovering somewhere around the 10 or 11%. And I'm like, okay, how can I get down a little bit here? Well, eliminate carbs. I'm gonna do like those wrestlers do and just cut.
Yeah.
Well, then I started skating. I went about 2 weeks too, but it was like I tried to go for like the last month before training camp. But 2 weeks in, I'm skating around. I'm lightheaded, nauseous.
I'm about to pass out.
No jump in my step at all. I was like, I don't want to feel like such crap.
I'm doing the same thing I always did.
Then I talked to the trainer. I'm like, he's like, well, what are you eating? I'm like, he's like, oh, bro,
you're gonna die.
Jamie,
don't worry about the body fat. How about you just play the game?
Yeah.
You're fine.
Yikes. All right, it's the Fast Lane on 101 at ESPN. The Blues, they got to get better 5-on-5. What's the best way to do that? We'll get into that next on 101 ESPN. When it comes to finding a new car, you're going to find your next new ride at Auto Centers Nissan Herculaneum. In fact, start at AutoCentersNissan.com. Peruse what they have in stock because they have a wide selection of cars, trucks, SUVs, vans, new Nissans, pre-owned vehicles of different makes and models. Over 700 vehicles, new and pre-owned, at one location. That's out in Herculaneum. But again, start at AutoCentersNissan.com. You can take a look at the different inventory that they have, different price points, what you can afford, what you can't afford. But here's the thing. With Auto Centers Nissan Herculaneum, they'll always finance the vehicle for you. Good credit, bad credit, doesn't matter. They'll finance the vehicle for you at much lower payments than you thought were possible on a month-to-month basis. So head out to Herculaneum. Tell them Stalter sent you. They'll talk to you about the 30-day return promise. They're so confident that you're going to love the vehicle when you drive it off the lot that you won't need this feature, but they give it to asking you anyways for peace of mind. Within 30 days, if you need to bring the vehicle back for any reason, they will refund the price for you, refund the car for you, and they give you a free lifetime complimentary warranty as well on all new Nissan. So check them out online at AutoCentersNissan.com or go visit them out in Herculaneum. It's Auto Centers Nissan. Fastlane on 101 ESPN. Carey Davis, Jamie Rivers, Anthony Stalter. Jamie, we talked about this a little bit earlier, but it is an important factor now moving forward for the Blues. They got to get better 5-on-5. And when it comes to their 5-on-5 play, what have you seen? Let's start there before we move on and talk about what needs to happen. What have you seen out of the recent 5-on-5 play?
Well, I don't see enough getting inside. You know, Craig Berube used to talk about that a lot, and so does Drew Bannister. And you go around the NHL, and a lot of the head coaches are talking about getting to the inside in order to create offense. And the Blues just aren't doing that enough. And sometimes when they get inside, they're not taking the shot on net. So they're not generating even though they're getting inside. So I think more of a get to the inside and get the puck to the net mentality certainly could help in that situation. But yeah, they're just, to me, it's just not enough of that getting to the dangerous scoring areas for the Blues at 5-on-5. I don't know why.
But they're doing it more at power play, right?
Yeah, but power play,
it's
easier.
It's easier.
It's easier. It's different, and the whole concept is different.
Sure.
5-on-5, you got to earn your ice a little bit more, and I think that this is where the depth in the lineup too hasn't helped the Blues. I think they are they're a very deep lineup when it comes to solid players, but they're not very deep when it comes to scoring 5-on-5. You look at some of the other guys that are out there, a lot of them are power play points. So I think for me, getting more play on the inside certainly would help, and getting more sustained time of possession in the offensive zone. Well, the Blues have kind of crept back at times to being a team that is trying to capitalize off the rush. Well, it's fine, but teams like the Toronto Maple Leafs are rush teams.
Yeah.
They've got 3 lines of guys that can score off the rush, and
they can do it.
That's what they do, and they also suffer then defensively too. Like the Toronto Maple Leafs are a team that give up a lot of outnumbered opportunities back defensively. There's a lot of odd man rushes. There's a lot of these things because they focus solely, I shouldn't say solely, so much on scoring off the rush. You're the St. Louis Blues. You don't have 9 guys deep of 5-on-5 scoring, so you have to find a way to create a more sustained offensive zone scheme and protect the puck and keep it down low and outwork the opposition.
Is it more just a matter of being more aggressive? And with that, if that's the case, is that defensemen being more aggressive, and does that lead to potentially odd man rushes the other way?
Well, you got to be careful. And here's how it screws up, Carey, is if you don't get sustained offensive zone time and you're just a rush team, then your defense kind of become at risk. And let me explain. Let's say I'm playing defense for the Blues, and I see my line, my forward guys, heading up the ice. There's a gap. I can join. I can be that next layer of offense. They make one pass in the offensive zone, shoot the puck wide, and now I'm chasing the play back the other way. So what happens is I get burned a few times like that. So now the next time we're heading up the ice, I'm not on my toes. I'm not as eager to join that rush. So I hold back thinking, I'm not going to get burned again like that. And then what happens is maybe the turnover happens, and now the other team create team speed because there's a gap now. Because I wasn't up to play or up the ice fast enough to close the gap, to be a part of it. Now there is a gap, and the other team can generate speed and momentum coming back. And now as a defenseman, I can't really stand up. You end up giving away the lines. That's what they call it. So you give up the red line. You give up the blue line because you don't have the back pressure. And if you're overly aggressive, then they burn you. So for a team to have success, to be able to activate your defensemen, the defensemen have to be able to trust the forwards in what the forwards are going to do with the puck. Goes back to that word predictable.
Right.
And if my forwards are unpredictable with the puck, or they're ineffective at finding good offense with the puck, I have to be careful. I have to be back there. Otherwise, it's going to go back the other way, and I'm going to get crapped on because, well, why are you up the ice? You give a 3-on-1 the other way. Meanwhile, the play really didn't start with me. It started with another decision by another teammate, but I end up being the last guy to be invited to the party, so it's my fault.
So, Jamie, how do teams fall in and out of bad habits here? You're because you're talking about something. I made the statement earlier about how some fans and media would just change up the lines, find the right combination of lines. And you're like, no, they have to. It goes back to X's and O's when it comes to 5-on-5 play. So how do teams and players fall out of the basics?
Well, you start having a little bit of success in other areas. So if you're having a lot of success in the offensive zone, you're getting to the inside, start scoring some goals, guys are starting to feel it a little bit, start to feel good. And then what happens is you start to get a little cuter, and you start to make plays off the rush that ordinarily you wouldn't make because, well, we're having success. And even as a coaching staff, you're like, you know what, let's overlook it. Not because I'm not a good coach, it's just like, I can't be that guy. They haven't been doing this very often, so we just let them be, whatever. But then it starts to become contagious a little bit, and then players are not having the success that they want to have. So now they start to press or start to do things that are out of character. This is why it's a constant grind for coaching staffs, because you have to continuously remind your players of the style of play that makes your team and the individual successful. And I'm not saying that Drew Bannister and the coaching staff is not reminding these guys, because I'm down there for a lot of the home games, and I see and I hear a lot down there, and they're on them. They're on them to be forechecking harder, taking away passing opportunities, supporting the puck better, play harder away from the puck, all of these things, but it's constant. And it just, no matter what team you are in the NHL, there's ebbs and flows in the amount of offense you can create, and there's ebbs and flows of how dedicated you are to whatever system that it is that you're playing. So if you're a rush team like the Maple Leafs, you're not going to have it like when I was with the Red Wings. Not a whole lot of dump and chase with the Red Wings.
Nobody's going to be down there.
Nobody's going to get that puck.
Yeah.
So, each team has their own strength, and it's up to the players and the coaching staff to hold themselves accountable in that situation and realize what makes them successful and continue to duplicate that over and over and over again. And those teams that do that are the ones that have the most success. And I think that's why the Blues last year, it was what it was. This year, when the Blues fall out of their predictable game, you see it.
Yep.
And they end up being games like, I don't know what I just watched.
Right.
But that's what you watched. You watched a team that's disconnected for that game or for that period.
Sure.
They're not supporting each other. They're not going to the areas where they know they have success. They're not sticking to their recipe, and that's where it falls out of sync. And then it is a job then. It's a task to get things back lined up the right way. You usually need a good practice. You got to start turning the bus around a little bit.
That's Jamie Rivers, Carey Davis, Anthony Stalter. It's a Fast Line on 101 ESPN. We have our biggest question of the day next. Every time I go down to the Missouri Athletic Club, I often visit the West Clubhouse, although I've certainly been to the downtown spot plenty of times. But I always enjoy looking at the board and seeing what the events that they have coming up, not just for me individually. I also love looking at it from a family perspective. What events do they have coming up? Whether it's if Easter's coming up, then maybe they hide the eggs around the Missouri Athletic Club, or obviously during the holidays, they have breakfast with Santa. They've got all kinds of things going on. And when you join a club like that, it is great to see how much they get the club members involved, and you feel like you're part of a community. And then I just enjoy going down there and using the facilities for working out and for prepping for the show. And we broadcast sometimes down at the downtown spot. It's just a really cool spot. The Missouri Athletic Club, that's Miami C.
I'm Andrew Marsh, and it's time for a Sports Center update brought to you by Saliga Heating and Cooling. St. Louis City SC won last night over the Houston Dynamo. 2-1 the final in Game 1 of the CONCACAF Champions Cup. Their next game will be next Tuesday, February 27th at 9:30, so make sure you tune in to that one. The Blues will be back in action tomorrow night, taking on the New York Islanders. Pregame starts at 6, puck drop is at 7, and you can catch all the action right here on 101 ESPN. If you missed anything from today's show, including our interview with Jeremy Rutherford, make sure you go to 101ESPN.com or check out the free 101 mobile app. You can just head to the podcast page. You'll find all of our interviews and full shows there. And it's all brought to you by Dobbs Tire and Auto Centers. We have our biggest question of the day coming up next. I'm Andrew Marsh, and the Sports Center update is brought to you by Saliga Heating and Cooling, independent American Standard heating and air conditioning dealer.
It's time for the Fast Lane's biggest question of the day.
It's a Fast Lane on 101 ESPN. Jamie Rivers, Carey Davis, Anthony Stalter. Here goes that.
Go team.
Now, Carey's going to be like, I don't know if this is a good fit for this show.
Just that quickly.
I wish I could let you know what happened, but I can't.
Oh, Carey's a great fit.
To protect Jamie. Marsh, what do you got for biggest question of the day, kid?
So our biggest question of the day is, Anthony, why do you hate the guy that wears the Marlin shirt? No, I'm kidding. We kind of talked about this yesterday, the college football playoff and how it was officially... It's good to go, right? The 12-team playoff. Do you agree with how the new college football playoff is structured with the top 4 teams being the college conference champions and whatnot?
So I think I got a better understanding of it. It's the top 5 teams of the conferences, no matter what conference they are, where they're seated at.
We missed that yesterday.
Yeah, so it's not necessarily.
We had no idea.
You know, it's not necessarily the Pac-12.
We typically don't.
And Big Ten, true, SEC, ACC, and whatever else I'm missing.
The MAC.
No, they're not one of them.
Oh.
But it's the top 5 seeds from those conferences. Yeah. So if a Pac-12 team is fortunate enough to make it into that top 5, then they will be part of it. But it's those 5 teams, and then the next top 7, which I'm okay with. I don't have any issues with it. I think it's going to be, first of all, the fact that we got away from 4 teams, the fact that we got from BCS to now to the 14 playoff to now we have 12 teams, I am so thankful because it gives some of those teams an opportunity. And then hopefully we'll see less of the, players taking that game off. We'll see more people playing.
Yeah.
You won't have more those people sitting out. The Mizzou versus Ohio State game, they have a lot of their starters not in that game. Mizzou won, but to be able to play a team that is fully loaded with all of their players trying or vying for a national championship, I think that's going to be the best part about this 12-team playoff.
I think it's going to be interesting to see. I never thought about that, but you're right. So it's a meaningful game.
Yeah,
right?
Yeah. You won't have players opting out. Hopefully.
Well, that's okay. So my brain, I just if you're a 12 seed in this thing, and you're a team you're like, there's no way.
Yeah.
You're taking on
the
one-seeded Georgia.
Do you think you'll still see
2?
I don't. So
some opt-outs?
what I think that the NCAA is going to have to do.
I hope not either. I hated the opt-outs to begin with.
I think they're going to have to move back the transfer portal as well, because part of that reasoning that players were opting out because first one in are the first ones to get looked at. And so if you move it back until after the actual entire season is over, because I think the window started in December, which that's playoffs and bowl games and all those things. The players like, hell with that, I'm getting out of here so I can be looked at and be seen by another a coaching staff. So if you move it back until after the college football playoffs are over, then I think it's fair. I think it's fair for everyone that's involved.
That would be the smart thing to do.
That would be the
we talked about that last year.
The best way to do it.
Yeah,
because if you don't do it that way, you still will have people potentially opting out.
What I'm about to say probably it probably won't come into play, but the only thing I don't like about ranking the teams 1 through 5. Like, hey, there's our conference champions, right? 1 through 5, because that's what it is, right? 5.
Well, it's the top 5. So
top 5.
No matter what, it doesn't matter. The conferences that they're from, I believe. So it's not. I don't think it's necessarily the conference winner.
Mm-hmm.
So if an SEC school has the number 1 seed and the number 3 seed, but a Big Ten school won the Big Ten championship and they're 6th somehow,
they stay 6.
They stay 6.
I'm good with
is
it.
what I believe.
I'm good with it.
No, I think it's if the Big Ten say they're the number 6 team, right?
Mm-hmm.
They'll jump another team. They get the top picks.
Well, violence is
Or
never
top,
the answer.
If that's the case,
Michigan State tried this.
if that's the case, then I don't like it.
Well, that's why people are bringing up Notre Dame, because Notre Dame's not in a conference, and let's say Notre Dame's the number 1 team in the nation.
They get dropped to 6.
Yeah.
If that's the case, I don't like that. Then you're putting too much emphasis on winning the conference as opposed to having the 12 best teams for the tournament, which is what it should be.
If Notre Dame is number 1 and they're not in a conference, there's no way they get dropped out of the top 5. That's not. There's no way.
Unless that's what the
I can't wait for controversy. I'm already excited
There's no way
about it.
Notre Dame is top 5, top 4, top 5, and they get pushed back because one of the conferences.
Yeah, that doesn't make any sense.
It would have to be. Listen, I'm probably not smart.
Just
enough.
look.
Just
all I want.
Explain it better, people.
Can we just talk about what we want? What I want is
Just
I want the
give me 12
12 best teams. That's what I want. I want the 12 best teams.
Seeding does matter because if you don't have to play
ranked.
If you don't have to play the number 1 seed as soon as you would, being, if you're number 3 or number 2 versus being number 4 or 5, that could change things.
But rank them 1 through 12. But give me the 12 best teams, as opposed to saying, well, we have to have this team who won the conference. The conferences are lopsided.
Yeah.
The SEC and the Big Ten are not the ACC and the Pac-12. No. Come on. You don't play the same schedule, especially now. We got all these teams joining the Big Ten and joining the SEC.
Yeah.
So I don't want college football to use the conferences as some holy grail when it doesn't make any sense to. I want the top 12 teams ranked, and then let's get it on. Right, Jamie?
Absolutely.
Let's get it on.
Let's get it on.
I am excited to see the tournament next year.
Miles.
Yeah. Miles.
I was going to the other one. I was going with Marvin Gaye.
That's different.
You're thinking of Miles Davis?
No.
Nope, not Miles Davis. Yeah, Miles Lane.
Mills Lane.
Mills Lane. Something didn't sound right.
He did the thing beside his nose.
Mills Lane. That's right. And all I can think about is Celebrity Deathmatch on MTV.
That's right. Well played.
Do you remember that?
I do.
Marsh, you're really
What is it called?
Celebrity Deathmatch.
Yeah.
I've heard of it.
It's claymation. It was claymation.
Yeah. On Adult Swim?
No, MTV.
No, MTV.
Yeah, they had
That's
different.
a different one.
Yeah, they had different celebrities fighting to the death. And Mills Lane was always the referee.
Yep.
Let's get it on.
Little claymation people.
Claymation fighting to the death.
Who wore the belt?
Whoever.
No,
Yeah,
there was no
different
belt. It would be like people who in the tabloids maybe had beef.
Yep.
Like at one time when it was Katy Perry and Taylor Swift.
Okay.
They would be claymations and they would have like weapons and like they'd cut an arm off. Like blood leaking out.
Yeah.
Like,
You sure that wasn't Adult Swim?
Nope. It was definitely MTV.
I've seen all of it.
Back in the 90s.
It was MTV.
2000s.
It's grotesque.
Wow.
But you had to watch it. You just didn't know who the celebrity was going to win.
Yet,
Yet an art form.
yeah, very
It's real art.
intriguing.
That celebrity
Real
deathmatch.
was art.
Yeah.
Moving art.
Oh, yeah. No doubt.
I'll have to watch it.
Yeah.
It does sound intriguing.
You have to check it out.
You youngins, you can YouTube it, I think.
There
I'll
you
go
go.
on YouTube.
Yeah, you'll find it. Okay.
What?
Things I didn't think I'd be talking about today. Celebrity Deathmatch. All because you brought up Mills Lane.
Let's get it on.
Bet the board, 3 stars of the day, criticisms, compliments. Next. We've all had remodeling projects that go sideways on you for various reasons, too. Maybe the contractor didn't do what he promised to do, right? Or didn't do what you paid him to do. Or maybe he contracted something else out and the materials weren't in on time. Whatever issue that you've had in the past, put it aside and call my friends at Mosby Building Arts. They do it right the first time because they take the time to make sure that when they come out to your home, and I've seen it, that we've had Mosby Building Arts out to our house, we're looking to upgrade the master bathroom. Hey, what can you do? They'll lay everything out for you. They maximize the space that you do have, and they give you suggestions, but ultimately, you're the leader of the project, right? And once you pick out what you like, they hold the material in their building until everything comes in, and they start the project when the material's in. So you're not waiting. You're not displaced. You're doing a kitchen. You don't have a kitchen for 8 months because countertops, got delayed. No, not at Mosby Building Arts. They do a fantastic job. They have homeowners that call them all the time or leave reviews and say, I wish I went with Mosby first, as opposed to going to a contractor. I think I'm saving money, and I'm really not. Or going to a big box store, and the big box store gives you a price without you actually coming in your house and taking measurements. It's a joke. But at Mosby Building Arts, they do it right the first time, because they believe in their quality of work, and they believe in their ability, whether it's a big project or they'll do small projects too, to do it right again the first time. So go to Mosby.com, call Mosby.com. Again, call Mosby.com or give them a call at 314-909-1800. Tell them Stalter told you to call. Mosby Building Arts, the right remodeling company. If you missed anything from today's show, you can always download the podcast at 101ESPN.com or the free 101 ESPN mobile app. It's all brought to you by Dobbs Tire and Auto Centers. Time to bet the board. I should have known as soon as I said my pick, and Carey and Jamie said, oh, man, they wanted it too, that I should have just not taken the Vegas Golden Knights last night. So I lost. Carey, complete scramble mode. Barely looked at the games beyond the Vegas Golden Knights. Said, I'll take Arkansas on the points. They won outright as a double-digit underdog. So, congratulations, Gary.
Thank you.
I think you and I are now tied, right? Is it?
No. I'm ahead of you now.
No.
Jamie and I were tied. Oh, yeah. You're all three of us tied then.
Board says.
Sorry. I forgot you were winning. My apologies. We're all tied now, right?
No, I'm still behind.
Jamie lost last night.
Yeah, we're all tied.
And Marsh, how'd you do last night, kid?
Well, on Bet
You
the
helped the
Board I
Blues.
lost, but man, did I ever help this team.
Yeah,
That's what's important. That's what
Marsh
matters.
took his ability to ruin a team during a given night and put that right on the Minnesota Wild.
They did.
And boy, they got worked.
Yeah, they
6-3.
What matters?
So, what do we got for standings?
All right, so Anthony and Carey are tied at 7-6. Jamie is 6-7, and I am 3-10.
Okay. Carey, I'm going to give you first go here.
I was going to Illinois, but they already started the game.
Yep.
And I can't pick them, huh?
No, not after tip-off.
All right.
Well, you can pick them if they're behind.
They are.
They are behind.
No?
Nah.
All right.
All right. I mean, it doesn't hurt to ask. I guess I got to go with hockey. Give me a second. You know what? I'm going to go the Buffalo Sabres versus the Montreal Canadiens. They are minus 150.
You're going with the Sabres?
Yeah.
Interesting.
Yeah.
In Montreal.
Yeah. They're on the money line. I'm going to take it.
Oh, it's fine. It's a good pick.
I don't feel like he believes that.
I don't
think he believes that at all. Last time I took one from him, I lost, so, he doesn't want it, so it probably is good for me.
Yeah.
That's great.
All right. I'm gonna go hoops. I'm gonna take I'm gonna take a play that I
You
don't.
sounded so confident when you said that.
So I didn't have the Huevos Rancheros last night to not take the team that everybody loved, and I'm like, I'll follow in line, and then I went right into the old, buzzsaw with everybody. There's no reason to take the Miami Hurricanes tonight plus 5.5 as a home dog against Duke, who's rolling. I'm going to take Miami plus 5.5. That line doesn't make any sense. I think it should be bigger. It's not. Miami plus 5.5 over Duke.
Wow. Look at Anthony. He's getting all tinfoil hat here.
All
right.
I gotta stretch my lead here. I gotta recapture the lead.
Yeah.
Then stretch it.
Who's leading, Marsh?
We're tied.
You guys are tied.
Jeez. All right, Jamie.
All right. Boston Bruins.
I looked at that one.
Edmonton Oilers. In Edmonton. Going with the Oilers. Minus 135.
Okay. Thought for a second you're going Boston.
No.
Thought you're going Beantown.
Connor McJesus is going to have himself a night.
Fair enough.
Think so?
Yeah, go with the odds on that one.
Every night, huh?
Pretty much, yeah.
Not a bad choice.
All right, Marsh, who are you putting your powers, or who are you using your powers on?
I'm not using my powers on anybody tonight. Maybe to help myself out, I am looking at college hoops tonight. Citadel taking on Mercer. And the line is at 135.5. Now, when these teams go up against each other, the last 3 times, the under is hit. However, the last time the under was at 135.5 for Citadel, it went over. So I'm going to take the over tonight. Citadel, Mercer, over 135.5.
Okay. Where are those schools located, Marsh?
We don't know. You don't care.
I have no idea.
It's not part of the equation, Carey.
We didn't ask him that.
No.
I just wanted to know.
He didn't need to know that. He just wants what? The over?
I just want the over.
Yeah, you don't care where they play. They can play in the parking lot for all Marsh cares.
They might.
Oh, the under.
No, I'm taking the over.
The over. Take it over.
Yeah.
I got you. All right. What do we got for criticisms and compliments?
All right, we got from the 314. This one's for me.
That was funny.
Marsh, if you were playing baseball, you'd be a Hall of Famer.
That's awesome.
Wow.
Great.
I don't think I would, but.
I agree with the texter.
Oh, I mean, that's
Why wouldn't
really.
you be?
It's really nice.
It is really
very
nice.
Kind, very kind words.
Would be a Hall of Famer.
Thanks, Dad wants everyone to know that Paramount Plus has Celebrity Deathmatch.
Oh, okay.
And he says, I know what I'll be watching with my nightcap.
There you go.
There you go. Wonder if they've seen it before. I don't know if it still holds up.
It's
Sure it does,
probably-
right?
Oh, come on.
Yeah.
It stands the test of time, man.
Wasn't
certainly.
Paris Hilton on one? And what is
Tanya
Nicole
Harding.
Richie?
Tanya Harding was definitely
Wasn't Nicole
one.
Richie? And
Nicole
Paris
Richie was.
Hilton?
Starting with, what's her name?
Nancy Kerrigan. Nancy Kerrigan. Makes sense. It's a good pairing.
I don't know.
Ooh.
The 618 says, y'all crack me up.
Oh, thank you, 618.
Appreciate that.
Take that.
Jamie's Vacation Speedo. Best damn show, guys.
Thank
I
you.
think that was a different show, but
Yeah, it was a different show.
it was.
On FS1, right?
Yes.
Not 2.
No.
Yeah, because we didn't know
It's
2
different,
existed.
though.
I think it was just Fox Sports.
Yeah,
Oh,
it was
best damn
Fox
sports show.
It wasn't even
Yeah,
FS.
Fox
It was
Sports.
just
Yeah.
It
Fox
was
Sports.
best damn sports show.
Best-
We're
yeah.
best damn show.
Oh,
Right.
yeah, we're not a sports show.
Way different.
Right.
Not at all. 'Cause we
Way different.
Yep.
talk about Marlins fans going to Cardinal Cup.
Don't get him going again.
I'm sorry. I apologize.
Don't. It's highly
What else you got, Marsh?
Highly irritable.
Just want to make sure that I plan my outfit correctly tomorrow so Carey doesn't.
Well, yeah. Don't you mix and match your brands. 'Cause
Right.
My goodness.
Hey, you do whatever you want to do.
But just know I'm judging.
I'm judging you. Exactly.
What is that jam on?
Are you guys ready for
We're
the...
going to be scouting you out for the next couple weeks, bro.
Yep.
Oh, yeah. You get one
Don't
mismatch,
you be
you're
throwing
hearing about
stones
it.
in that glass house of yours.
Gary's going to be like stressing every day.
Oh, yeah.
All right,
I did say this. I got to live up to
be
it.
careful.
Yeah. All right, Marsh, go ahead.
You ready for the 3 stars of the day?
Always.
always.
Perfect. So our 3rd star of the day goes to the guy that is just at Busch Stadium trying to have a good time, right? He shows up. His favorite team isn't playing.
Don't do it,
But
Marsh.
man, he just wants to watch some good baseball. And
He just loves
unfortunately-
baseball.
Unfortunately, there's a guy in the stands named Anthony Stalter that's giving this guy a bunch of
Why are you
grief.
wearing that Marlins jersey?
I'm not gonna say
my
anything.
family's experience.
I'm not going to say anything to him. I won't. I'm not going to say anything to him.
Get me to watch a game.
You're gonna
Just know I'm
mean-mug
judging the hell out of you.
You know you are.
In my head, I'm
Every
saying...
time that guy gets up to go to the bathroom, you're hoping he catches your eye so you can mean mug him.
In my head, I'm saying to you, what the hell are you thinking? That's all. And I'm not alone. Marsh agreed with me.
I did.
And
I
that
did for a little
texter
bit.
who asked us the question agrees. So go ahead, Jamie.
With what?
I don't know.
All right.
Your 2nd star of the day goes to...
They won the victory. Pompeo with a cross.
We'll be here tomorrow.
I had to cut off the second part.
We got time restraints.
Yeah. I mean, we got instant replay coming up.
Yeah. Want to miss that.
All right, and today's 1st star of the day. This man might not believe defense is important. He may ruin court cases, but when it comes to your goaltender, St. Louis, there's only one man on the job to make sure that everyone knows that Jordan Bennington is a good goaltender. That is Ranthony.
Yes. Nice job. He made the appearance today. Yeah, thank you.
Yeah, Anthony.
I'll
appreciate it.
thank
Wherever he is.
Wherever he is. Yeah,
hours.
exactly. All right, what?
No, I said good job.
Did you say behind bars?
No, I said I'm proud of you.
Oh.
Probably.
He probably will be at some point. Just be me sitting there. How did I get here?
Oh, what's going on here?
What happened?
I don't remember
Where
anything.
am I? I don't remember anything.
I'm
Jail,
covered in
son.
blood.
Yeah,
What?
exactly. What is this? This ketchup? All right, for Andrew Marsh, for Carey Davis, for Jamie Rivers, I'm Anthony Stalter. You got instant replay coming up next. See ya.